beseech you to be all with abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call performers in and trust in this county and this republic. Let your blessing descend upon us, your simple, and grant that to retreat and consider all matters that shall come, and our liberation so just a faithful man as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, welfare of our county and our country, and of those whose interests you committed to our church. Amen. I'll open this session with some remarks. Honorable members, the select committee on appointments for purposes of vetting nominees for the appointment of positions in the county executive committee members. In this case, executive committee member nominee for the Department of Trade, Marketing, Industry, Culture, Tourism, and the subsequent one, which is on agriculture, livestock, fisheries, and cooperative development. Honorable members, today's approval hearings held is pursuant to Section 7 of Public Appointments of the County Assembly's Approval Act of the year 2017, and is a culmination of a process that began the Makueni County Governor nominating one Irene Macau for the appointment of a County Executive Committee member, Department of Trade, Marketing, Industry, Culture, Tourism, and Sarah Wayuanzau, a nominee for Department of Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries, Cooperative Development. Standing order number 209, sub-order 4, provides that the Committee on Appointments will consider the approval by the County Assembly appointment of members of the County Executive Committee, and so is the County Government Act and the Constitution of Kenya. It is on this basis, all the foregoing, that we gather here today to consider the nomination of the said persons and their suitabilities for the positions nominated. This process will be guided by the provisions of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Public Appointments, the County Assembly's approval of the year 2017, County Governments Act 2012, revised in the year 2020, and the Makueni County Assembly Standing Orders. Honorable members, clerks, and the nominee. By way of summary, the Assembly Speaker received a letter, or rather a message, from His Excellency the Governor, reference GMC stroke GVS stroke ADM stroke REC stroke 5 stroke 180, dated 8th of June 2026, nominating one Irene Macau for appointment as a County Executive Committee member, Trade, Marketing, Industry, Culture and Tourism, and Sarah Wayuanzau for Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperative Development. The Speaker conveyed the message of His Excellency Governor to the County Assembly on 9th of June 2006 and directed the relevant committee, being the Committee on Appointments, to take up the vetting process as required by law and other necessary instruments. The Assembly subsequently placed an advertisement in local dailies, specifically Standard newspaper, dated 11th of June 2026, inviting the nominees for vetting before the Assembly Select Committee on Appointments today on Tuesday, 23rd of June 2006, starting from 10:30 a.m. at the Assembly Precincts. In the advertisement, the nominee was asked to carry original copies of the following documents with them for vetting exercise, namely the curriculum vitae, academic certificates and testimonials, certificate of good conduct from Directorate of Criminal Investigations, a clearance from the Higher Education Law Board, a certificate of tax compliance from Kenya Revenue Authority, and clearance from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Honorable members, this session shall proceed as follows. 1. The nominee will first take oath or affirmation. 2. We will then do introduction for the committee and the nominee. 3. The committee membership will then review the nominee's documents briefly. 4. The committee will then hear from the nominees and cross-examine from him or her. 5. Members will then have time to ask questions or further cross-examination. At the conclusion, the chair will invite the nominee to give closing remarks and leave at their own pleasure. Honorable members, pursuant to Section 8 of the Public Appointments County Assembly's Approvals Act of 2017, we will also be looking at the following summary. 1. The procedure used by His Excellency the Governor to arrive at the nominee or the nominees. 2. Any constitutional or statutory requirement related to the office in question. 3. The suitability of the nominee for the appointment proposed, having regard to whether the nominee's abilities, experience, and qualities meet the needs of the body to which the nomination is being made. Additionally, honorable members, each of you has been supplied their file with the nominees' field questionnaire in line with the section 7, subsection 9, and the first schedule of the Public Appointment County Assembly's Approval Act of 2017. Similarly, an assessment form has been supplied to all members for purposes of this vetting pursuant to section 7, subsection 9 of Public Appointment and County Assembly's Approval Act of 2017, second schedule. You will score each nominee as per criteria identified in that form. Honorable members, kindly observe the following, as is not limited to members, including all persons in this sitting. 1. Silence. An order must be observed at all times during the vetting exercise. 2. Kindly switch off your mobile phones or put them on silent or flight mode. 3. The language to be used for purposes of this exercise must be respectful and decorous, and that is English language only. To the staff to start us off, we'll begin with the introduction of the committee secretaries, followed by asking the nominee to introduce him or herself. Then we will then ask the nominee to produce the copies of the original certificates of qualifications, and then we shall proceed with questions to the candidates. And before then, I will ask the clerk to administer oath to the nominee. Thank you.
I, Irene Nduku Makau, having been nominated for appointment to serve as a County Executive Committee member for Trade, Marketing, Industry, Culture and Tourism, do swear that the evidence that I shall give before this committee on appointments shall be the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
There's a form for scoring.
Yes.
If you mentioned. Yes. We overlook some of the things
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's mechanical. Can you bring it?
How do we do that? How do we have never done that?
But where did you mention it?
Did we do introduction?
No.
Introduction, yes.
Good introduction.
Very quick introduction. My name is Douglas Julia. I'm the chairperson of the Committee on Appointments. Thank you.
Thank you. Go on. You can hear it.
Thank you. I'm Jets Kalunda, member of County Assembly for Kikumbulu South and the leader of minorities.
I'm Elizabeth Mutindi, a member of this committee. Thank you.
Jackson Barrow, MCA Kikumbulu North and member of this committee.
I'm Martina Kimilo, member of this committee.
Clerk.
Good morning and welcome, Kevin Mutuko. Sorry, Kevin Mutuko, clerk of the County Assembly. Karibu.
Esther Masau, Director Legislative Services.
George Mutuko, Principal Research Officer.
Janet Agui from the Legal Department.
Very well. For the rest of the members that are with us, I think there is media and support staff. Thank you so much. So Irene, I will ask you to introduce yourself. One, on the person of Irene, where you born, and who you are as a person, family and any other related. Two, you will also introduce yourself on academic progression from the least to the highest attained. And then thirdly, to work experience that you have up to this moment, since when you started working. You may proceed.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. Good morning. My name is Irene Dukumakau. I was born in Matulani village in Vingoni, Sampani ward. I started my schooling in Titande Primary School. I proceeded to Mboni Girls, then Marcel University, where I achieved my bachelor's degree in business administration, accounting option. Currently, I'm pursuing my master's degree in strategic management with Southeastern Kenya University. I am a mother and a wife, a mother to 4 boys. On working experience, I started working immediately after graduation as an trained teacher in 2 schools. One was in Masa Girls and Male Boys in Machakos. I proceeded to Kenya Institute of Social Work as a training coordinator, where my role was both a training coordinator and as accountant. I was in charge of a satellite campus in Kiswid. That was for the period from 2011 to 2013. In September 2013, I joined the office of the Senator Makueni County, Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr., where I served as the Deputy County Office Manager, and I served from 2013 to 2017. Thereafter, after the re-election, I served as the County Manager in the same office of the Senator Makueni County from 2017 to September 2022, when I handed over to the new Manager, Office of the Senator Makueni County. In 2023, March 6th, I joined the county government of Makueni as a county chief officer in charge of devolution, public participation, county administration, and special programs. And 2 weeks after joining the county government, I was given to act as the chief officer, Office of the Governor, where I served up to 6th of February 2024, where I was deployed to the Department of ICT, Education and Internship as the Chief Officer, Education and Internship, a docket which I hold currently. In 2025, January, I was given additional task to act as the Chief Officer, ICT, a role I played up to February this year, where I was relieved and given additional tasks to act as the Chief Officer, Health Services in the Department of Health Services. So, Chair and honorable members, I'm currently holding the position of a County Chief Officer in the government of Makueni County.
Very well, Irene. So from 2003, 4, 5, in less than 4 years, you have been a nomad from one department to another in one government. The CEO for Devolution, acted CEO Office of the Governor, then moved from Devolution and acting CEO of the Governor to CEO Information, Communication and Technology. Then you became an acting Chief Officer for Information, Communication, Technology, and now you are in Health. What makes you be moved from one department to another?
I believe my track record of performance in public service, because for the department I've served, we've had a tremendous impact and transformation. For instance, when I was in devolution, that's how we had the first training for our village administrators by the KSG, a training which has helped them in the discharging of their mandate. In the office of the governor, we had the first strategic partners meeting for the county, which brought in the partners who are working in the county and also who have interest in the county. On service need, I was moved to the Department of Education. We've had transformation as well. For instance, we have our vocational training centers, which have been not so active for the previous years. Now their visibility is increased. The products done produced by our vocational training centers, and also the acceptability of our vocational training centers as centers where our young people can gain skills and transform their lives and the lives of their families. It's real. So I believe I was moved, and I've been moved to serve with the various departments because of my track record in public service.
What are your achievements in the Department of Health? If I may ask, aware that you are not a medic, you are not a clinician, you are not in Bachelor of Sciences, you are in Bachelor of Business Administration, Moi University.
Maseno.
It's Maseno University, yes, sorry. So how is that related to health, and what has been the difference? Because you've said that you've been moved to make a difference. How was health before, and what is it that you have achieved that citizens of Makoni can acknowledge from when were you appointed health?
In February
Feb
2026.
2026.
Yes.
So from February 2026 to today, what is it that you can say you have, as you've indicated, you have changed, you have performed better than those who have been working in that department, that makes you a better chief officer than any other chief officer that has been there before? Because that is what you've said, that your track record makes you speak for itself. What is it that we can say, or it can speak of?
Thank you, Chair. As I moved to the Department of Health, I'm working with my colleague CEO. There are two CEOs in that department. CEO Dr. Harvey, who is in charge of HR and administration, as I handle the health services. So it's a collaborative effort between the chief officers and also the CCM in that department. I'll not say the achievements have been solely because of me. It's been because of the teamwork. What I can say significant is, one, we've had a progress on some of the cases for our officers, which those are disciplinary cases, which are dragged for almost a year. We are coming to a conclusion with them, and that we are working with my colleague in the department, same to the directors and the officers in that department. We are also improving on the performance of our facilities. As well, in collaboration with my colleagues, we have guidelines on the usage of the funds our facilities are getting from reimbursement from SHA, a guideline which didn't exist before. So we believe that our facilities are better managed, because when as a chief officer, we are supposed to give guidance. I don't need to be a medic to be an accounting officer, because there are directors, there are doctors, there are nurses, there are clinical officers who provide the technical input and support to handle the patients and our clients in the department.
Three things that are ailing the Department of Health, particularly Makwel County Fire Hospital. Three, name at least three, and how they can be addressed or resolved to better services in Makwel County Fire Hospital.
One of the challenges is understaffing. Our hospital, the MCRH, receives referrals from across the county. Sometimes it is overstretched, and the number of officers are not enough to handle all the wards. What we've done as a department through the hospital is to have contracted officers to come in and serve, so that the shortage of officers does not compromise the quality of service which is offered in that facility. Because being the only level 5 hospital we have in the county, it receives referrals from the other sub-county or level 4 hospitals, and sometimes it is overwhelming.
As three, that's one.
Yes. The second one...
I'm not asking what the department has done. I'm asking what will be your recommendation, that whether within your powers or powers of this committee or anyone else that you think will be the solution to that problem. It's only in this house where you can say what you think is, and you speak as a graduate and out of your experience and make your recommendation that the Assembly can intervene, Cabinet can't resolve that particular issue, and if resolved, then you will be happy to say that something has happened. Second one?
What can be done is if we can have more officers recruited.
Fair enough. Second?
Second challenge is late disbursement of exchequer. Sometimes we, as a county, the funds we receive from the National Treasury delays, and that affects the performance of the facility, that's the Makueni County Referral Hospital, just like another the other county facilities. What can be done is if the national government can be releasing the funds timely, it would help curb some of the challenges we have.
That
we have a challenge with the new scheme, the SHA, because for MCRH it's within Watertown, and for SHA, for level 5, it's supposed to be a referral facility. So for the people who live within Water, find it difficult to access outpatient facilities, because ideally they're supposed to be referred from a lower facility to access the services in that. It's difficult for the people in Water to be told to have a referral for their SHA to work. And in that, it's good to mention, Chair and members, the government is in the process of renovating an old hospital so that can be a level 3 to provide those services, such that the people of Makueni and its environment will not suffer to be charged, because if SHA does not cover for that, it means that the patients have to pay in as much as they have the cover, because they've not been referred to from another facility. So with the establishment and the renovation of the level 3 hospital, which was launched last week on Tuesday, we believe that in a month's time it's going to be operational, and that will serve our people.
now, when you mentioned SHA, this is my last question. I thought you have addressed what to me is one of the major challenges, but you have deviated to infrastructure and systems, not the finances. It is common knowledge that we are getting reimbursement from the national government on SHA, correct?
Yes.
What about the management of the resources at the hospitals, at the dispensaries, health centers, level 3s, level 4s? The Assembly recently carried out an oversight on the same. When I perused through the report, I could see a number of issues that I don't want to preempt at the moment. But I don't want to assume that Honorable Kalunda has findings on the ground that you are not within the know. The chances are that you know everything in and out even before we conducted an oversight. So what is hailing the SHA reimbursement, its management, and what should be done so that then we can streamline that aspect of revenue direct to the hospitals and utilization and the management of the resources? So what is the nature of the challenge that is hailing the reimbursement, and what should be done? As an accounting officer, having been there for some time and having claimed positively that you are professionally moved from how many departments? 5 departments. So we want to see it come. You've been accounting officer for more than 5 dockets, and you have claimed that it's based on your performance and track record. Now, I still want to see how we are going to diagnose the problem of SHA reimbursement, utilization, management of the resources at the hospital, instruments and whatever. Now, can we see that track record that you would have left? Because chances are that you would have been moved in the next 6 months, maybe to agriculture and something else, if this was to continue.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. Yes, we get a reimbursement from SHA. However, one of the challenges, it is not consistent. Some months are skipped without getting the funds, so planning for it is difficult. What we've done to ensure that there is a prudent use of those resources as we receive is once a facility in charge receives the funds, they don't spend. They request for an authority to incur expense. That comes to us as the chief officers. what happens is the facilities meet with the boards. Each facility has a board. The departments present the needs of their facility, which is approved by the facilities board. The minutes of the approval of the expenditure is forwarded to the chief officer for concurrence. We have a committee at the Department of Health which checks through the AIE's request to confirm that they adhere to the guidelines which we've provided, because we give guidance for whatever amount we get, what is the percentage which goes to what component in the vote. So after that, now an authority is given to the facility in charges who are supposed to incur the expenses based on the budget submitted, approved by the board of those facilities, and then they're supposed to submit an expenditure report after the period.
So who is responsible, who is accountable for the resources in each and every dispensary or health center?
It is twofold. One, at the facility level, we have a facility in charge. We also have the MOH. Each county has a MOH who checks through the approved minutes from the facility boards and submits to the department. Then at the departmental level, that's the second point of check, where we have a committee which checks to confirm that what has been approved by the board adheres to the guidelines. In case there is a deviation, there's advisory which is given back to the facility and the board to check and redo, so that we are compliant with the law.
Has there been deviation on management of public resources outside the approved budget by the hospital boards?
To the best of my knowledge, I'm not aware.
You're not aware?
Yes.
What about Kalembwani? Dispenser.
I'm not aware about that.
A case where the funds were mismanaged and the officer admitted to reimburse the interest or the amount that was withdrawn to the hospital account. You are aware of that?
No, probably it was before it went to the department.
Yes.
But in such a scenario, what happens, that officer acted against the law, so that is a disciplinary case.
So no
For
other
that.
case has been reported? Because you have how many dispensaries or facilities do you have that are covered by SHA?
242.
242. So besides what I've mentioned, the rest are running smoothly, no accountability issues, no cases that have been reported to you as an accounting officer to take action. Is a person responsible for human resource and the person authorized to incur expenditure on behalf of the department. And
Yes.
if any, how have you dealt with them?
Thank you, Chair. There are two which have been reported while I was serving there. One was Katulie Dispensary. And
That's what I was
recently-
referring to, sorry. Katulie is in Kalembwa next, sorry, yes.
Yes, Katulie Dispensary and also Ensai Dispensary. Both were allegations of misuse of public funds. What we did as a department is we've
Hang on. I'm speaking to the chief of the department. The person responsible for accountability of public resources is the chief officer and has the authority to incur expense and has delegated responsibility to the County Public Service Board to manage human resources, including disciplinary measures and recommending promotions, rewards and sanctions. So don't go to department. Now this is Irene, the chief officer. What did you do?
Thank you, Chair. As the Chief Officer, we are guided by the Public Service HR manual, where we are supposed, when we have a disciplinary case for an officer, we are supposed to convene a Departmental Human Resource and Advisory Committee to discuss the matter. That's what we did for Katulie, the matter, and also for Enza. That's what the committee did. And we found that from our own judgment, there was the allegation could be true. So we sought guidance and intervention from the Department of Finance to carry out an audit for the facility, because with the mismanagement, we could not limit ourselves to only what was reported. There could be a possibility of more, so the need for an audit, and we are yet to receive that report for Katulie Dispensary and Ensai Dispensary. Once we get the report, the committee will sit again, where I chair, or my colleague, we co-chair, and we are going to determine, based on the report from the internal auditors, and make a decision. If the officer is found to be culpable, disciplinary action will be taken against them.
When was that?
The request to finance was done some time
When
ago.
the case was reported?
I found it live. I can't remember when it was reported, but I found it live.
Yes.
Yes.
So that was before February
Yes.
2026. We are in June 2026. And the disciplinary committee has not set it to inquire into the matter because the matter is still being audited. Is that what you say?
We had a meeting last week, Chair, on the DHR mark, and that was one of the things, and we did a reminder to the Department of Finance for that internal report because it's from the auditors. We can't audit
So
ourselves.
the delay is not on your side. You made a request to the directorate or department responsible to audit, but they have rather taken too long. That is why you cannot go to the next move. Is that your submission?
Yes.
So it is not up to you. You are waiting upon others to act so that you can also be facilitated to act.
Not entirely. I also have a responsibility to follow up and get the report.
Where I'm asking questions on now that we are dealing on trade, and I'm not asking you serious questions because you are not a new officer. With 10 departments, having worked in the office of oversight as the deputy county office manager for the senator from Makueni, the best performing that time, you are not new in public service. And the county chief officer, county officer manager for the office of the Senate, and then subsequently chief officer, including the office of the governor. You have so much experience in the government, so that then I just want to understand how, if you've not been able to manage the offices very well, then it will not be important for you to occupy another office. Instead of you asking you questions on trade, because if you've not been a doctor, you have not been ICT, and you steered it so well, if then you prove it, it means any other position given to you, as it is the trend, and definitely as it is the case after every 6 months you move, in which case your name has been presented to us. If you convince us, then fine. If you don't convince us, then we will be persuaded that this movement is about performance, poor performance. Are you getting? And perhaps this is a process where the government has pushed you to us so that may do away with you, so that we don't approve you based on your merit. So I was just keen about that aspect of performance because human resource responsible person is the chief officer on management of resources in all the hospital. In fact, I want to correct you, it is not the hospital boards, it is not the facility in charge, because all those officers have delegated authority from the chief officer, and therefore you are accountable for them as well according to the Public Finance Management Act. Do we have guidelines? My last questions. On management of resources reimbursed on SHA?
Yes.
Are they in place?
Yes, they are.
When were they approved?
I'll have to confirm. And Chair and members, I didn't say that I'm not responsible for the facilities. I said there are several checks before they come to my desk.
I'm only trying to tell you that whether there are checks, they may not matter to us. What matters is the chief officer. How the chief officer organizes those systems is personal responsibility or administrative.
Yes.
So when were the guidelines approved?
We shared with the facilities sometime in March, April. I'll have to confirm the date.
Around what time?
Around April.
Around April.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for now.
Can I just comment
On the same? Go ahead.
Chief Officer and the interview this time. You remember we've not had audit in level 1 and 2 there before. They have not been under audit. Your audit has always been confined to from level 4 and up. And I believe that is why the department had to act and bring it up. Countrywide, it's a challenge because they have not been auditing level 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Yeah, just a comment.
Okay. On the same or a different question?
Different.
Proceed on the board supplementary.
Thank you, Chair. To our nominee, I wish to shoot a few questions. As a nominee for the position of ECM Trade, are you familiar with the past performance of the department you wish to join? The successes and the challenges of that department, and what you feel you are able to do to the success of the department. Also, I wish to, you have been a technical person as an accounting officer of the different departments, and I think I can relate that to your academic experience of accounting. But when you wish to be in the position of ECM, it's more of policy and management. Do you think you're best suited to be in that position of policy and management rather than where your academic bias is? Thank you.
Thank you, Abeba. And yes, I'm familiar with some of the achievements of the department because I'm in the same government. I share with my colleague, CEO in charge of trade. One of the success stories or the successes of that department is the sanitation of our markets. Most of our markets are clean because they've put in place a cleaning program across the market. Some are cleaned 6 days a week, some 2 days. We've also had, they have an online platform, the Soko Makweni, where to me it is a success because it links the producers and the people of Makweni, the traders, to the world in a digital way. We've had recently they've been exhibiting in several trade fairs where our traders have been exhibiting their products. That is opening their markets to the world. And also recently we saw the Kenya Music and Cultural event where some groups attended, and we have one particular case of a lady from Nguma Sumba who won at the national level. That's a big story because it showcased the cultural heritage we have as a county. For the challenges, one of the challenges is I've learned is under budgeting or insufficient funds, because for the markets there are over 500 and currently the cleaning is done in around 200 or so markets, meaning there's some markets which this sanitation is not being done. If we had enough funds, we'd have the market cleaned. Also, the markets where we have the sanitation program, some is not done. In some markets, the cleaning is not done for the entire week, maybe a day or 2 days, meaning that for the remaining days, the markets remain unattended and operations are daily. So there's a possibility that we have wastes in those markets for the days where the cleaning exercise doesn't take place. So that's one of the challenges. The second challenge which the department, and this I've learned through the officers in that, is just like the Department of ICT Education at internship, sometimes we get a late disbursement of funds, and that affects operation, both recurrent and development. What I would do, one, I would enhance what the department is doing because it's progress so far. There is a strategic plan in place. I would increase the collaboration with partners so that they come in handy to assist us when we have underfunding or we have inadequate funds to cater for some of the things like the sanitation, to organize clean-up clinics, so that we can sensitize the traders on the importance of a collaborative approach to the cleaning of the market, because so that they can understand they have a role. It doesn't have to be the government to do everything. They can still participate and make our markets clean by probably putting the wastes at the right places, not littering every other place. Yes, on the question about, yes, I've been technical. I believe for the past, as a CCM, I'll be mainly on the policy, I agree. And I believe I'm the best suited because I have quite an experience on governance, understanding how the county governments work, and also with the understanding of the public finance management, I believe that I'll be able to give a strategic direction to the Department of Trade, Market and Industry, Culture and Tourism, so that we can propel Makueni, not only as a department, but Makueni to be a destination for trade, investment and also tourism, because there's a lot which we can do.
Thank you. Before I shoot the next question, you have said you have talked about partners. Are there any on board that are doing that are collaborating with the department?
There's a potential partner who had interest in waste disposal, and the department is pursuing. And that's one of the areas I feel, if you approve my nomination, that would be my first thing, because he has an interest in management of wastes in our markets.
Okay. The other question is, Makueni County is a leading producer of some of the horticultural products, like mangoes and oranges and pixies. But our farmers have been facing some challenges. Are you aware of those challenges? Just name some of those challenges that our farmers in the horticulture are facing, and what will be your core mandate in addressing these challenges, if approved? Thank you.
Thank you. One of the challenges faced by our horticultural farmers, especially the mangoes, is the market for their produce. And this we saw last time when we had an overproduction, or the produce was so much, and there was a public outcry. If I'm approved to serve as the CCM in this department, one of the directorates is marketing. I believe the marketing directorate will be vibrant in linking the farmers to the market, not only in our plant, the Kalamba fruit processing plant, but externally. If the marketing directorate is vibrant, they'll be able to link the various producers, not only even horticulture, even for the other produce with the various markets. We have a digital platform I mentioned, Soko Makueni. One of the things I'm going to do is to revamp it and sensitize our traders, our farmers, our producers on how to use the digital space so that they can be able to market their produce. And also the timing, working closely with the Department of Agriculture, I would encourage the adoption of irrigation in the production so that we can have more off-season produce, which fetches better prices, like we see with the farmers in part of Kibwezi, where the off-season starts early. Their produce gets good prices. So if we can have our farmers adopting irrigation instead of relying on the water-fed water to irrigate or to have their crops, we are going to find that we are going to have off-season, which is marketable. Also working closely with the Department of Agriculture, we are going to sensitize the farmers to grow the quality of produce which is needed in the market locally, in the nation and also internationally, because sometimes we may miss the market because we don't meet the EU standards on the pesticides use. I also advocate and lobby, currently members, we are having the ICT authority mapping the installation of public Wi-Fi to public utilities near the Deputy County Commissioner's offices, a given radius. I learned this because they came to our office and we gave the hospitals and also the vocational training centers around these areas to be connected through the digital superhighway. So what I would do, we have markets along the digital superhighway, would reach the ICT authority to connect them so that our members of the public can have free Wi-Fi, such that in as much as they could be in a very small space, they are also able to sell digitally whatever produce they have. And the other thing is linking Soko Makueni to other platforms, other digital platforms, where our farmers and other producers are able to reach wider markets.
Thank you, Chair. I've noted that everyone is jumping into the off-season idea, and now the market is already flooded with off-season. You realize that most farmers right now have peak season oranges as we talk, so they are still lacking market even for off-season. So we have to balance that. My last question: how do you manage public expectation during difficult season as a government officer? Thank you.
Thank you. One, I ensure that I'm calm before responding. Sometimes difficult times can raise your emotions, but you see, being a public officer, there is the expected code of conduct, which is expected from you whether you are angry or you are happy. So one of the ways is I manage and maintain my calmness in responding. In most cases, people are enraged because they lack the information. They are enraged because they don't seem to understand why they can't be assisted, whatever it is. So one is to give facts in a calm way, in a simple way, as simple as they can understand, so that they are able to resonate from where you come from. For example, if there is a challenge from an old mama, you don't need to explain yourself in English or in Kiswahili. If that lady or that man or even that child can understand you in a vernacular, that's what I do, so that they are able to understand what is it they're asking, as simple as it can be. Two, I also ensure that I listen to them. Sometimes people are enraged because they lack some, I listen here. So the moment you listen to what they're saying, you're able to advise. It may be not within your powers or not within your docket, but you're able to guide and direct to the right place where they can get assistance.
Thank you, Chair. Are you willing to address such difficult moments that probably the government, if I can say, goes through during your free hours, outside working hours, like on a Saturday or a Sunday? Would you be willing to address a situation like that in the villages and such?
Thank you. Yes, not only willing, but I do. For example, sometimes you find when you have an accident, it happens. The members of the public do not know it is a Monday, it is a Sunday. And also the accident don't choose which day to happen. So they just call you at the middle of the night, there's distress. It's a distress call. And it is good, it is human to respond and to give guidance. For example, I was called recently when we had an accident at around 11 in the night. There was some shootouts in Mtitwande. Some armed robbers attacked some people, and I was called at around 11. Lucky enough, my phone was adjacent, so I coordinated with the ambulance, and they were rescued, taken to the hospital and handled. Also informed the team which is involved. So public service, I believe it's like a calling. People need to be served. So if we can sacrifice a few of our time to handle their issues, because some may not wait until it's a Monday at 8. It will be making our government more humane. So I've been doing that, and I commit to continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Honorable
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I would really want to hear your opinion on this. We have border towns in our county that border other counties. Example, Mtitwande, we border Traveta. There's competition of revenue. Then there is Kiaoni, bordering at the market, that is on the way to Kitui, is bordering Kitui. And the residents in those areas, they are competing for revenue which side it goes. But you find there is market in place on the side of Kitui. While on this other side, the resident and the residents have been wondering why the department does not move in to secure a place where they can be doing marketing, because majority of people come from this side. What is your opinion on such? Because we are losing revenue to keep to other counties.
Thank you. For the border markets like Mtito and Hay, it's purely in Makueni, so the revenue is collected in Makueni. That's where I've grown, and the revenue is in Makueni. For the Athi, yes, we have that challenge because one side is in Kitui, then we have the Makueni side. What I will do one is to make the trading in Makueni to be favorable. Traders to feel comfortable establishing their businesses in Makueni. That will be able to collect revenue from our end. This can be through ensuring that the markets are clean, ensuring that we have clean water in the market and sanitation facilities, and also through the Department of Finance, ensuring that our revenue officers are humane in collection of the revenue.
Just a minute, the challenge they have, they don't have a market on their side, they need land. That's where you're coming. Whether you come to solve such a problem, you need land to be bought. Because the revenue will continue going to Kitui, but you have potential to change that.
Thank you. For the need for a market, I will work closely with my counterpart in the Department of Lands to establish whether we have a public land where we can establish a market for our people.
Okay, my second question is about creating and enabling a business environment to attract business investment, supporting enterprise growth and generating employment. Who approved what you do in such to align that?
Sorry?
Creating an enabling environment to our business people. How will you improve by creating that enabling environment to improve their business and create employment? What measures will you take to do?
Thank you. One is to ensure that the markets are clean. Sanitation, which is our role, will ensure that the markets are clean. Nobody will wish to work or operate in a place which is not healthy. The second one is working closely with the Department of Energy to ensure that the markets are well lit. If possible, we can have a 24-hour economy for the big towns. Also working closely with the Department of Lands and the municipalities, where the towns are within the municipalities, ensure that we have proper drainage for the liquid waste in those markets. Then I will ensure with my team that we provide information to the traders on available opportunities. For example, when we have trade fairs, we inform them early enough so that they are able to exhibit whatever products they have in the other markets, both within the county, outside the county, and even probably outside the country. And Chair, also, given that recently we had the MSEF, which was launched, that's an opportunity for the young entrepreneurs can access loans because the interest is very low, so that they can start their businesses, they can expand whatever they're doing, and I believe that their income, or rather their household incomes, are going to increase, and our traders will thrive.
That's what you.
Honorable Martina.
Given that urbanization, increased affluence, and the emergencies of new market centers have led to increased waste generation and more complex waste management challenges, what measures will you take, if approved as the CCM trade, to make sure that all our market centers provide a safe, healthy and attractive trading environment, given that we also know that through the public sanitation promotion program, and the department has contributed significantly to improving cleanliness in all our markets across the county.
Thank you. Yes, we have emerging markets, and also the waste is increasing. One of the measures I'm going to take is a collaborative approach to the management of the wastes, where I'm going to engage the traders in the particular markets to have a responsible disposal of waste, so that each trader, whatever waste they have, we have a common place. Like currently, the Department of Trade has managed to procure 12 stick bins, heavy material, where these waste have been put. In such a case, you find that if the responsibility is shared, it's going to be easier to manage, even with constrained resources. The other thing is sensitization and informing the members of the public, because not only the traders who could be having the waste, even the members of the public, when you purchase something and then you just drop that waste, it litters the market. So through public engagement, informing the public on the importance of a clean market will help in ensuring that our markets are very clean, and that will take through public engagement with the stakeholders, the local communities, the public, and every user in the market.
The other question, how will you manage the liquid waste in our markets, like in water market?
Thank you. For the liquid waste in the water market, I'll work closely with the Department of Lands, because water is in most municipality, so that we can have central management of the liquid waste. It's also good to mention that in these markets, we usually have our town management or market management committees who will work closely in ensuring that whatever interventions by the government or by other stakeholders are needed are brought forward in time. So for the liquid management in water, I'll handle through with my colleague in the Department of Lands.
My last question, I've noticed that we've been losing revenue in our markets, especially during the market days. What measures will you take to make sure that we don't lose our revenue during the market days? Because we've got influx of traders from different parts of the country.
I'm not aware about the losing of the revenue, because what happens for the market days, we have the revenue officers in those markets for the people who are once off. For example, if it's a market day for water on Friday, we have the traders who visit the market, so we have our revenue clerks going round. But I would really appreciate where we have that loophole, so that we can be able to correct and enhance. We should not be losing any revenue in Makueni.
Honorable James Kalonda.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Maybe the volume is too high.
Not really.
Okay. I welcome Irene. I wished to maybe ask the questions, then you note them down, then we can interrogate them together. I don't want to be repeating those questions. I will start with maybe your legal obligations of the County Executive Committee member to the County Assembly, and how you will ensure compliance with those obligations if approved and appointed as a CECM for trade. Number two, at least the Speaker engaged you a lot on your vision. Okay. I don't want to take a long time, but the Speaker says you can take one by one.
You get, I know my members. You can ask 10. I can go. So do you
No, today I'm not feeling well. I wanted to be quick with the
The
question.
Constitution requires you not to be quick with this job.
Okay.
Proceed and answer the first question.
Thank you, Chair and members. My legal obligation would be to appear before the county assembly and its committees when required. I'll be required to submit the plan for the department, the budget, and ensure that it's complied with, and a report submitted to the committee in charge of trade. Another obligation is to ensure that there's accountability of the resources which have been given to the department, and prudent use of the resources according to the approved budget. And if there's any deviation, it needs to be approved by the county assembly. I have a role or rather an obligation on matters legislation. For example, the policies of bills pertaining the Department of Trade, which need to be passed. I facilitate the formulation and the submission to the county assembly for approval. I'll have an obligation to ensure that there's transparency in operations and openness in operations of in the department, both internally with the officers and externally with partners and stakeholders.
Okay. I think that's fine.
Training centers where our trainees are able to make different things. How are we able to link them to the market? For example, we have
you can do at this point, but I expected your preparations towards this vetting to convince us within 100 days you will have done this. I expected as well you watched the previous people, candidates who were vetted by this committee, like the public service board. The chair would tell us within 100 days, this is what you will have achieved. I expected this kind of an intervention from you now that you belong to the county government since 2023. But it's a good challenge for you. Speaker, that's why I wanted to ask the many questions at a go so that I don't intervene. But still, because it's a vetting exercise, I will keep up with the same. Irene, now you've worked as a chief officer for maybe 3-4 years, and you've moved to many departments. What will be the difference now that you'll be working with the ECMs who have been in existence since 2023, and now you have been a chief officer, you are coming in, maybe you have been moving to from many departments to other departments like that. Do you expect them maybe to look down on you, or maybe they feel you are threatening them now that you've moved from a chief officer to an ECM? What is your expectation, and how will you handle that? Priority is one. The governor, I'm jogging my mind. Priority is one. The governor, I'm jogging my mind. It's like a member of county assembly who was working with a ward manager. Now the ward manager is a member of county assembly. You don't know, sometimes you feel you want to throw beyond your weight. I don't know. What is your take on this? Yeah.
Thank you. And I was proceeding the response, then I saw you wanted to talk, so I had to hold. So it was about what I will do, and one of the immediate actions I would take is to convene a round table with the players, the brokers, the off-takers in the county, so that we're able to understand what are the areas where they're able to plug in and what is needed as a county, so that we can be able to do, and what we expect from them as well for the good of the investors, traders, farmers, and the people of Makueni. About being a threat to the current members, I doubt whether I'm a threat. Actually, I feel the best suited because I understand the systems, the devolution structure. I've worked with them, even for those who aren't my supervisors, because in Makueni we have one government approach where some programs we work several departments to achieve a common goal. So I don't feel I'm a threat to anyone. If anything, I think I'm a plus to them, because I'm not coming to learn fresh. At least I have an understanding. They'll take a few days to orient me to that higher level of operation, and it will take a shorter period to hit the ground running, and I believe we'll work as a team.
I also spoke of looking down on you. Did you see? Maybe.
It is good to note, chair and members, even as a chief officer where I have CCMs being my supervisors, they don't look down on me, even in my role. Actually, for both waziris, they are consultative, so it's not a threat.
Thank you. You know, it was just by the way to get to know your feeling on the same. Now, Irene, we have been members of public have been asking more about Makendu show. Sometimes it's not well registered with the ASK. That is what I am made aware. It's not well registered. That's why we only do it as a county of Makueni. No international partners, no dates, no ASK specific dates, not much investment from the national government as well, not much from partners. What is your take? Because we don't want to be zero grazing around Makueni when we have a good opportunity like in Machakos, Mombasa and Nairobi. They have ASK shows which are well dated, well resourced. What is your take on that? Because I am also informed that there are some fees we are supposed to pay, and that may have been overlooked, and that's why we are not able to make a lot of strides with the Makendu show. It has become just our local village thing. What is your take on that? And I expect that in your policy intervention, but I've tried to scan through your presentation and it's not coming out very clearly. If you can mention something about what we can do with this SK expectation, and also, yeah, please.
Thank you. If, as you mentioned, that we are not as much recognized by ASK because of some things which you are expected to have done as a county, what I can do at policy level is through collaboration with Michael D. First is to establish what are the gaps, what is making our show not attract exhibitors from other counties to come to Makindu. After we have identified the gap, I'll be able to link and seek whether between, because I understand the show is supposed to come up sometime in July. I saw some farm produce which is growing through my colleague in agriculture. If there are interventions which we can do now, before the exhibition day, we'll be able to. If not, for future, because it happens every year, we'll be able to start the planning early, seek the approvals as early as possible, so that we can be able to attract other investors from other county. You cannot be able to solve what you don't know. So the first point will be to understand what are the gaps in agriculture, which makes the SEK not attract the investors and the exhibitors from other areas. That will form the interventions.
Last one, maybe I will be doing the last one, which is true. Now, you come from Titwandei, and Mombasa Road is a huge corridor, both trade, transport, and your department squarely lies around the activities in Mombasa Road.
Just a minute. Did you indicate that you live in Titwandei?
She was born. She comes.
Perhaps she was there more than 10 years ago.
No, just
The question would be based on where she lived, because she said she's a mother of 4.
no, I did not say that. You need to
Just a minute, so that then you don't ask her questions. on matters that she handled when she was a little girl in primary school. It's good to confirm the current location, which is
No,
public
it's
information.
not important now.
So,
I
let me do it
heard
for you.
I heard her tell on the Gumbalo that she comes from Chitwande.
Where does it come from? Where do you live?
I come from Ivingoni, Zambani. I
Yes.
mentioned Kitwande, that's why it's called.
Yes.
It's the nearest town
Yes.
when growing up.
Yes.
So I'm born and married in Ivingoni, Zambani.
And raised
Born.
there.
Raise that. So that's your home.
Yes.
Very well now. Continue.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Please. Now, I was talking about the corridor, Mombasa Road corridor, where there are many activities, and you are a prospective department.
That's Malili Mtsunade.
Yes, Malele Mtwande. What policy directions would you wish to make when you become the ECM for trade, which would spur, maybe you talked about wealth generation, vibrant economy. Can you link that with the Mombasa Road so that, you know, people are listening, they want to know what the new minister in charge of trade will do for us, for the people who have been struggling along Mombasa Highway, Mombasa-Nairobi Highway, and also putting into consideration that we may have a dual carriage in future. What are strategic decisions you will have which will make the economy around that corridor to be the backbone of this county? Because if we get more wealth along that corridor, that money will still have the ripple effects in Tulimani, which is more than 100 kilometers away. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, Mombasa Road stretches from Kitwande to Malindi with greater low distance. If approved and appointed, I would advocate and have an establishment of an industrial park. That's something which has been in my mind. I've tried to talk to a few people because I believe other than the Mombasa Highway, we also have the SGR. And we have a station at Kibwezi. If we can have an industrial park at Kibwezi, that will open the areas along the Mombasa Road or somewhere in Emali, because also it has the Kajiado Kajiado Road passing through there. Emali is also a busy market. So that's one of the things, industrial park. Secondly is to ensure that we have a 24-hour economy in those markets along the highway, because we have trucks and we have movement, traffic along that road all the day and also all night. That will ensure that we have revenue in that place. Also, we can have to have parking bay for the lorries in all of the towns, either Malili, Emali, or all of them, if we can, because once they park over the night, that revenue for the accommodation, for the meals goes to that place, and the market grows.
The last one, Speaker, it's about Makueni tourism circuit, which I was involved in, because in Kikombole South we have one of the gates towards Burinzao Hill and other two hills, and that may have stopped since last year. What are you going to do to establish the idea to do with the market, that is the tourism circuit in Makueni, and how will you be able to get more partners and also more customers getting into this? The last one also, the white elephant markets. The county spend monies on white elephant markets, marikitis, and they have not been able to be adopted by the market users. What will you do? Because when you go to these wards, you will find two or maybe one. In my ward, we have one in Changinwa. Nobody wants to use this market. What will you do different with the other managers of this department, which will make sure that we get use of these markets where we spend a lot of money as county government of Makueni? Those two questions. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and our candidate, Madam
Go ahead.
Thank you. For the tourism circuit, I've established from the department that we have a destination Makueni where we have the players in the hospitality industry brought together. What I'll do is to enhance the visibility of our tourist attraction areas, the places where we are able to have local tourists and also from other places. Most information, if not shared, will not be consumed. So one is still through innovation and the digital platforms is to inform the world of the areas and places where they can visit Makueni, and as their getaways, we have the Mbuinzao Hills, we have Kivale, and I was informed that we are having quite a number coming for the hiking in Kivale Forest. We have the Nzawi Hills as well. So, and also the cultural centers, like we have one in Mali. One is to inform the people that Makueni, we have tourism center on matters culture. We have the Kalamba historical place where we had the missionaries. So with that, and then making the stakeholders in tourism and culture space be able to share information on available and upcoming events, and then have the tourists guides companies be able to establish their centers or a call center where the locals from Makueni and person Makueni are able to get assistance to navigate as they visit these areas.
Very well, thank you. I'll put the last two questions to you. We gave you a questionnaire. Yes, question. Go ahead.
You did not comment about the markets that have been abandoned. Because if the government invested so much money in many markets and they are all abandoned, I believe there must be a policy change where we can direct it that nobody should be out, because the minute you allow everybody else to be out, they all compete for this. They leave the market. Now in my area they have abandoned 2 markets.
I think what you need is an answer from her, not you giving her the answer.
Okay, let me put it.
Can she give you the answer and then now you can advise?
Okay, if we can give her an answer and she comes with a policy that can work, I don't mind. I would allow that. So I would say we have such and would wish it addressed, because we lost a lot of money as a government. That is a waste. If you go to Kiaoni, there is a market that is in use because the people are working inside. But in Kisani, Kadiaka, Changinyo, and all the other markets in this county, they are having that. Kindly tell us what you like to do.
And in line with that, there is a national government modern markets. I think none has started, unlike other places in this country, because of the conflict between the county government. I'm on mic.
Yes, you're on mic.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. The national government modern markets, they have not started off. Water, Makindo, and Water Makindo at? I don't think there's an hour. And Kibwezi. They have not started off. They have not started off because of the conflict between the county government, Department of Trade, which is responsible. The national government administration claiming that these are projects of the national government. But the citizens, the national government, both the executive and the legislators, members of parliament, county government, the department, and the respective MCS. But the citizens of Makueni are facing the delay on the services and the infrastructure that should benefit them. On matters related to location, matters related to land, matters related to public participation, what would be your take? Because as you blame the county government and the national government, then we also have a bigger problem, which is administrative.
Thank you, Chair. On the white elephant market, the Marikitis, I believe, one, as they were being established, there was a need which the people had identified.
Is your microphone on?
Yes.
Okay. Check the volume. Sergeant? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. For the markets which have been established but are not occupied, first is to identify what is the challenge. Allow me, Chair, to give this example. Last year, I was team leading on public participation for the executive in Muka Ward, where we were holding the public participation was supposed to be a market. So I asked because they had refused to move into the market and were selling by the roadside. And I was able to know the challenge was that's not what they wanted. It was just a structure. It was not made with the slabs where they can be able to put their wares. And that we had prioritized to have the works which are needed to make it usable, the slabs to be put in place. So what I'm going to do for these markets where the traders have refused to move into the markets is to have a meeting with the users and establish what is the challenge. Because if you say the government and put resources for the construction, it means there was a need. The need has not been addressed because the traders are still using other spaces. And then after we identify what the challenge is through the public participation, and I believe I'll be team leading somewhere, we'll be able to encourage the members of the public to allocate funds to make those places usable, and then now enforce, after we make it usable, enforce to ensure that all the traders within that market use that particular facility, because it is their facility and it's supposed to make their trading easier.
Very well. We gave you a questionnaire.
Maybe, Chair, you mentioned also about the ESPs.
Yes.
Which have not started.
Go ahead.
Yes, what I will do about that stalemate is be deliberate and intentional to engage the national government, department or ministry responsible, so that we can be able to break the stalemate, because the people of Makueni do not understand whether the market is being done by the county or national. They need somewhere to have their trading. So I will actively engage the necessary offices so that we can be able to unlock the stalemate and have the constructions begin. Thank you.
We gave you a questionnaire to tell us about yourself. And this questionnaire, you are supposed to make a declaration. Who you are, your name, your ID number, work experience, clearance certificate number, associations, and so forth. I will refer you to item number 20B, where it is requesting you to list all memberships and offices held in the service rendered, whether compensated or not, to any political party or election committee. If you have ever held a position or played a role in a political campaign, identify particulars of the campaign, including the candidates, the dates of campaign, your titles and responsibilities in that campaign, and also include any linkage you have to a political party at present. Your answer is none. You still hold that position?
Yes.
That you have never worked for any political party?
Yes.
That you have never been an election committee member?
Yes.
That you have never held or played any role in a political campaign? Listen again. If you have ever held a position or played a role in a political campaign, identify particulars of that campaign, including the candidate that you participated in campaigning or working for, the dates or period around when that campaign was, your title or responsibilities in that campaign. Yes, you have given an answer. No. Now, I've read not applicable, it means it's not. No, you have not. Now, I've given you a benefit of doubt again to reread that question again so that you may refresh your mind and give us the answer. Perhaps you may not have understood then.
Thank you, Chair. I want to maintain with that because it may be construed to have that I was in campaigning. I was playing my role. I was the county manager for in the period 2022. You may ask about the period. Being the county manager.
Irene, you are not before Directorate of Criminal Investigation. You have taken an oath to say the truth, but nothing but truth. The question is very simple, that whether you have ever worked for, in fact, is list all memberships and offices, whether you are a member of a political party. Are you a member of a political party?
Yes.
Yes. So in this case, you have told us not applicable, you are not. Further to that, if you have ever held a position or played a role in a political campaign, and recognized political campaign is whether for independent or a candidate by a political party, from the lowest to presidential. So whether you have ever, and the particulars of that campaign, and the candidate, and when was that campaign, and your responsibilities.
Chair, I will not say it was a campaign. As I mentioned, in the year 2022, I was the county manager for the Senator Mapele County. So I was playing my role, not campaigning.
Let me help us speak.
It's not hard.
Let me help.
Honorable Mutiti, no, we are not here to help candidates.
No,
unless you switch and
I want to help that question.
Hold on.
Yeah, I want to change
Hold
that.
on. You know you declared interest.
Okay. I did not declare an interest.
Wait, Elizabeth
Let me
Mutiti.
continue.
Thank you. I think the chair is asking whether you played any role to that person who was campaigning. Whoever it was, it may not have been you who is campaigning, but did you play any role to facilitate any person that would have been campaigning? Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, it's clearer. And yes, I assisted my boss, then was the senator, to be the governor, by playing my role as the county manager. One, we had served, so it was our role to highlight what are the successes of his journey as a senator and convincing the public that this is a track record for the time he has served.
So those in many words. So in one single word, what is that? Now, the governor from Makweli is watching this interview. He has nominated you for a position of county executive committee member. For the first time, you have disowned him on a YouTube channel, like Peter. That you don't know him, you have never participated in a campaign, you never campaigned for him. I have personally campaigned with you in PTC. Unless you have forgotten.
It's a long time.
For Honorable Sebastian. That you have never handled material supporting the former senator to a governor. You have disowned him today. He is watching.
Speaker, can I join just a moment? You see, I don't know whether you watched yesterday the British Prime Minister resigned. And when he resigned, a new MP is poised to be the next Prime Minister. So one of the party leaders, one of the newest party known as Reforms, at least that is what made the Prime Minister to resign, is now asking for a general election because the new MP was not part of the campaign of 2024. So he doesn't understand the policies which were voted by the people of Britain. And that is what the Speaker is asking. So you may not have a lot of memory about what the governor's agenda is, and that's why you want to run away. So if you don't know the governor's agenda, you are not suitable for this position, because the governor is pulling to the west, you will be pulling to the east. I don't know whether you watched yesterday. The prime minister was resigning. Then they are not going to elect a prime minister who was part of his campaign, not even his ministers. Now they are saying they want to have a new person. So the other parties are asking the new prime minister, once he comes in, he should call for a general election, so that now he gets a mandate with his own policies. So that is what the speaker is asking you. Are you not part of this? Are you not part of the governor's agenda? Don't you know what the governor is expected to do within the 5 years you'll be the governor? That is what the speaker is asking. Are you part of what the Reform Party is asking? Nigel Farage is asking, can you resign? Can you call for a general election so that you bring a new mandate?
List all membership and officers, membership and officers, services rendered, whether compensated or not. You have confirmed you are a member of a political party.
Yes.
But here you have said you don't belong to any party. Now, the party coordinator is watching. He has marked somebody. You remember what happened to Sifuna? Now, this is your information. You still want to hold on to it?
Chair, with that elaboration, I'm able to understand, yes. One of the roles as a county manager when we joined in 20...
You are not here as a manager. You are here as an ordinary citizen. So, how your life has been as a citizen who has a right to vote, to participate, to do other things. Still, you are a mother. Okay? You are a business person, maybe. You are a student, you said so. So we don't want to... The person before us is not a student, is not the parent, is not a former manager. It's Irene, and a candidate. And you're asking Irene about her background, whether she has, and having taken her oath. So that then after that, we cross-examine and place an advert on a news.
Yes, but I believe,
you have worked with him, that is a possibility that was a +5 marks or something?
yes.
Yes, March 2026. Things may have changed.
It's within the 6 months.
No, I'm just saying, the help clearance, they're on that job. This is a dedicated job. You are a small governor in the Department of Trade. The issue of collective responsibility. I expect you, because you said you will be meeting the market people, the leaders like that. I expected you also to be solving health matters wherever you will be, to sort social economic matters wherever you will be. So this position should not limit you to be working from 8 to 5 and also only dealing with people, things to do with trade. I expect you to be a small governor in your own way, wherever you will be. And I expect the agenda of the governor to be run by the ministers, especially because they are political appointees. The speaker has taken you round just to show how you can be sacked when the governor feels you are not representing him politically in the best way. And you can go nowhere. You can go to no court. You can go to no tribunal like Sifuna and others. I can tell you, you can only survive when the governor is elected. If he is not elected, you cannot survive. And that's how I wish, and the speaker wishes you to know that, so that you can run the political agenda of the governor. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
You are former senator's PA, quote, official county PA, manager.
Yes.
How will you stop being a manager to govern to former senator and be an independent minister? Will you not start following the governors in Mukuyude? You are running because there are suspicious cars that wherever governor is, even if he has just left office to nowhere, they will just go and stop and wait for him, even if he's going to greet his grandmother without notice. Some cars will just follow him. and stand around him until he will disappear. He will go to Nairobi and they have nowhere to go. Then they realize he has gone, there is no buy, or they just want to be seen. Not Governor of Makueni, including Machakos, including the cabinet secretaries who are always following the president with no agenda, just to be seen on the screen. But they are just used to being around the boss. Around the boss. Will you manage that independence?
Thank you, Chair, and allow me to mention
That for a week, the week you may work for 2 weeks, and unless he calls you to the office, you will not step around him. You will be running your own program. Are you sure?
Yes, Chair. It's good to mention that even when I was the county manager, I was not following him everywhere. Is one of his ways of training. He delegates a lot, so you don't need to be around him.
Okay.
There is a task which you have at hand, and there's something I mentioned. There's an unwritten role that your main role is to ensure that your Mheshimiwa is re-elected.
So are you sure that you can spend 1 month? The governor has not called you, and you have your program, and you will not be you will not be irritated to be on. Is it second floor?
No, I won't. Because there are other channels. If there's a need which I need consultation, there are ways I can reach.
Competing positions with citizens to be around the governor, serving him.
No, and it's good that Chair, you mentioned that we met somewhere. I'm very sure you didn't find me very close. It is this time when you have to. Thank you. So it is this time to interact with the members of the public, because if it's consultation, I can be able to reach him through various channels. I don't need to suffocate the space. I should leave it to other people unless it's something.
2026, we placed an advert on one of the dailies, in particular Standard newspaper, informing you about your appointment and to appear before this committee for vetting. Further to that, we informed members of public that may have an opinion for or against you to communicate to us, either in support or opposing your nomination and vetting. Now, in that advertisement, we asked you to come with your original certificates, which I hope you do have, including academic certificates, the certificate of good conduct as issued by the Directorate of Criminal Investigation of the Republic of Kenya, clearance from the Higher Education Laws Board, clearance from the Kenya Revenue Authority, and clearance from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption. These are some of the documents that we requested as a measure of understanding your background and integrity, because there are some of the standard requirements that we do have. Now, we'll ask at some point the clerk of the county assembly to administer oath or affirmation, so that then you will inform us that whatever you're going to tell us is either the truth and nothing but the truth. The committee will review your original certificates, and then after that we will enter into a session of questions and answers so that we may get to understand you better and more. That aside, this vetting would be looking forward for the following one: to inquire into the procedure that was relied upon by the governor in nominating you as a candidate. 2, any constitutional or statutory requirement relating to the office in question. And 3, your suitability as a nominee for the appointment on the
I, Sarah Wayoanzao, having been nominated for appointment to serve as a County Executive Committee member, Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperative Development, do swear that the evidence that I shall give before this committee on appointment shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Very well. Honorable members, we're going to conduct our introduction. Sarah, my name is Douglas Bilu. I'm the chairperson of the committee responsible for appointments.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Jets Kalunda, member for County Assembly, representing the ward of Kikumbulu South and also the leader of Minority Party.
My ID numbers are there. My KRN number is there. I'm a Kenyan. I come from Kabonzweni. That's my postal address, 63 Kabonzweni. And I speak fluently English, Kiswahili, and also Kikamba. On educational background, I have a bachelor degree on social work, second class honors on upper division that I took 2019. Previously, I had done community development where I schooled at Kiswit, Kenya Institute of Social Work and Community Development, where I acquired a diploma in community development, September 2011. Also my background, before joining, after secondary school, I went to a national service, whereby also I did a diploma in administration. I come from a humble background from development. I've also done certificate on making markets work for the poor, on value chain development. Also on the markets, the issue of global gap is very key because they are the standards. Going through global gap, capacity building, and the farm assurance. I've done internal control and audit training through Cusco. Then I've done budget formulation, which has given me skills on budgeting, planning, and also implementation. I've also done value chain development on decent work. Also, I've gone training on public procurement and asset disposal training. I've done development on institutional risk management because every activity, every intervention has a risk. I've done result-based monitoring and evaluation. Then I've done organic agriculture and product development through Bigom in Denmark. This has given me skills to implement effectively activities through the work that I do. I continue.
Yes, proceed.
Going through my career deployment, currently I'm working with the Micro Enterprises Support Program Trust, where I've been the program officer in the Coast region, in charge of Taita, Kwale, Kilifi, Mombasa, Lamu, and the Tana River, especially in coconut, but the value chain that are in core in Kwale, Kilifi, and Tana River. The responsibilities, I provide strategic leadership in the implementation of donor-funded agricultural development programs across Kwale, Kilifi, Tana River, and also district coordinator in Makueni County. And at the same time, I provided leadership in planning, coordination, implementation of agricultural and enterprise programs. I manage stakeholder engagement, program performance, resource utilization, and partnership development to enhance agricultural production, enterprise growth, and rural economic empowerment. In 2000 and 2005, there's another program called the Daninda Micro Enterprise Project, MENDIP, whereby I was a project assistant project officer, still in Makueni. I supported the district coordinator, and that is my...
You're not on microphone.
I am. Oh, okay. Let me put it on. You are also part of Makueni. I'm glad that you come from Kalonzweni.
Yes.
We had issues in mangoes recently.
Yeah.
And every year that becomes an issue because Makueni people are good farmers in fruits. So I want to hear, in short, are you in picture of what happened recently? How the farmers, what the feeling of farmers about mangoes? What happened recently and what is your solution to that?
Thank you. About the mango, there are over 3 million mango trees in Makueni. And there is every year 12% planting is increase. And the thing what that is affecting is market for these farmers. The one thing you can agree with me, Kalamba is not enough to accommodate all the mangoes that we have. We need partnerships so that grade 2 goes to Kalamba and then grade 1 goes for export. We need more exporters, of which I'm very strong on partnership exporters can give. And also, another thing, what is affecting the farmers is the financial inclusion, because there must be a special product for these mango farmers. The seasonality and also the production period. Once the farmer gets loans in June, they need to pay after they sell the mangoes. But if the market is not consistent, we don't have contract farming between the buyer and the farmer. It will be very hard for the farmer to get finance. The issue of insurance is there, but the farmers are planned, but if they are not seeing the efforts, the pay of their sweat, it becomes chaotic. So what I will do, I'll bring partners, the exporters, that will come to get grade 1. Grade 2, it will go to Kalamba and other processors, because we have processors in Mombasa, we have Meli, we have San Mango, we have Kenya, and also we have Malindi, we have Fati Limited, and those people, we have a good relationship. So if they come and get these mangoes, other farmers will send it to Kalamba, and then what is remaining, it can go for other processing like drying. Therefore, we shall not have chaos on that, because once farmer sells their mangoes and they get paid, I tell you they'll be very happy.
So you're telling me you know what ails it and
Yes.
you have a solution.
I have a solution.
Now, can you tell me the role of cold storages? Do we have enough cold storages, and what do you intend to do to preserve our commodities before the market to reduce the waste?
Cold storage are very important for storage, because our mangoes are very perishable. Even the processing of Kalamba, they need a cold room, because once all the mangoes come there, they need to be stored so that there is a space for processing and also ripening. When you come to Kibwezi, and also when you come to Makueni, the cold rooms are very few. And we can't see the aggregation centers are enough. And therefore, if we call partners, they come, they invest. I tell you the issue of investment is cold room. It's not easy. It's not a cheap thing. And also cold room, it needs electricity, it needs also solar, and they are very expensive. And therefore, county government cannot invest enough. We need partners who can see the importance and bring in their investment so that even our farmers, they can benefit.
Okay, Chair. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Sarah. I know you have been following, since you have shown interest in this position. What can you tell us some of the flagship projects that the county government has invested in this department?
I can say a few of them because maybe I don't know most of them, but I know we have Kalamba processing, mango processing. We also have the Kasikil grain. We also have Kitise, the poultry slaughter. And also we have Kikima dairy processing plant. And also there is one for pulses. I don't know where it is, but I know we have. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's in Makindu. How would you rate our production versus, how would you rate the performance in terms of those produce, that product that our farmers have been producing? Because we talk a lot about mangoes, but there's also those other produce. How would you rate the performance of the department?
I really wanted to applaud the department because there's continuous planting of mango, citrus, and other crops. They have done good. The Department of Agriculture, they have done the mobilization, and there is that society of farmers doing farming as business. I've also seen the extension services. The farmers really know what is expected in their farming. Also on climate smart agriculture, when you go all over, you see farmers have adopted the NZIPs, the technology, the kitchen garden, and it seems that the Department of Agriculture, they have done a lot on that. And also cooperatives, they are coming up strongly. It means there is a lot of mobilization, there's a lot of support to farmers to form groups and also to cooperative. So the department has done good.
So is there something new you think you will inject into this department?
Yes. Of course, where there's a success, there's also some limitations. I know there's inadequate extension officers on the ground. That's why TOTs are running with the farmers because of the resources are not enough. Also, the irrigation and the water harvesting structures are not enough. There's need for expansion because we want to move from rain-fed. We have our own water that can maintain, because if an exporter wants to come and do the pick the produce, you want continuous supply of produce. And if there is drought, of course there will be shortage of production. And if there is irrigation, it will cap the gap, and there will be consistency in supply of produce.
Okay, thank you. So how will your typical day look like if approved as the ECM for agriculture?
First of all, I'll have stakeholder forums with the relevant partners. I'll also strengthen the cooperatives so that they play their role. Also introduce financial product that is affordable to the farmers, because once they do the production, the element of money comes very key, and some of them, they don't have collaterals. Also, the issue of youth and the women participating in this is is not enough. Actually 40% or 30% youth and women, they should be playing, participating in these value chains. And therefore, those are one of the key areas that I will come in and make sure that all the players in the value chain, they have a take. And also increase the income for smallholder farmers. That is the end game.
Yeah, Chair, I will shoot that again. I see you've not had a background as a in public office in your work experience. That's why I'm asking, if you are given this position, it is something that is it familiar? It's not familiar to you. So what do you, when you wake up, what will you be doing all the way to 5 o'clock and maybe beyond? That's what I'm asking.
First of all, I don't have a background in agriculture, but I've worked with the government institution, a research institution. I've also worked with the agriculture crops officers. And the key is to see the farmer happy. If I see the farmer happy, I'll also be happy. And therefore, my dream is to make sure that agriculture is market driven and there is food security. That's what I would like to see. And then the issue of productivity is increased. And therefore, every time that I will do, there are priority areas that I will be focusing on. Yeah, I will concentrate on those priority areas. I don't know whether I got your question.
Maybe just to add that, to override, I expect you to work with the appointing authority, with the governor.
Yes.
Closely with the other team players, because that is where you start your day with. Thank you very much.
I also expected you to, because Honorable Mutindi is asking you what an ideal working day for you would look like. Not maybe what you are thinking about this department.
Okay.
She wants to know from the entry point to the exit, at night, at 5, at 2, at whatever time, what it will look like, a working day, like today is on Tuesday.
I think you are completely asking the question. Another day for a teacher, yes. You wake up in the morning, you go to school, you go to class, expect break time, there will be lunch. We know the routine.
Yeah.
Expected against students, things like that. Weekend, you don't work on Sundays or something like that. So you are doing a lot of
There's this cut off.
So just
Thank you.
an ordinary working day for a minister in a county government.
Yeah.
Is that so?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The issue of strategic and policy implementation will be very key. I'll work closely with the governor. I'll also work with my department. Not really the governor, but I know the protocols, how it goes. Then there's annual plans and there are work plans with the targets. Every day I work. I know I have targets for their annuals and also their priorities for the county and also the mandate that I should do as an officer.
Yes. Let's get
Sarah,
Yes.
what policy reforms would you consider necessary to accelerate agricultural transformation in Makueni County?
Thank you for that question. Some of the policies that will be fostered is irrigation and expansion policy, climate climate smart agriculture as another also policy, and modernization of the cooperatives. I think that will be also another thing that I will need to see working.
And how would you strengthen collaboration between the county government and the national government and development partners and farmer organizations and the private sector?
Thank you for that question. The issue of partnerships comes very key. Collaboration, planning together, and also having public partnerships, so that in any intervention or project, the community and also the key stakeholders, they buy in. So having forums with investors, partners, stakeholder forums, and also farmer organization and the cooperatives will be very key in collaborating with holistic to make sure that the value chain functions sustainably, and also the projects within the county, they are owned by the residents of Makueni.
In your previous engagements, have you ever worked with donors?
Yes, I've worked with development partners of various. Actually, we leverage on what they are doing such that there's no duplication of activities. And also to make sure that the resources are utilized as expected, and if there are gaps, the partners, they come in and leverage on that. Yes, I've worked with the donors. I've also worked with donors like World Bank, IVAD, VAO, and also I've worked with Danida and like-minded partners in such projects.
So you are ready to bring such experience in our county?
Oh yes, I will. That's why I decided to come and give back to the community.
Okay. Noting that you are coming in at a time whereby we are doing the budget implementation, what key performance indicators would you set for yourself during your last year in office?
Thank you for that question. I know I'll have a very short time, but the issue of distribution of resources and also budgeting, I make sure that the resources are distributed accordingly, equally, and also the prioritization of the projects, for example, the processing infrastructure, to make sure that they are working, because currently even the infrastructures are not working, the market cannot be there. Also the production, I will also work on to make sure that there is increased production, because if the market is there, the production need to be increased. Also expansion of irrigation and the water harvesting is another thing that I will very keen on that, because if there will be water and there is production, of course, the investors will come and buy the produce. Another thing is climate smart agriculture. It's something that I will be very keen on that, and also youth and women participation in agriculture.
And where will you get the monies, or rather the budget, to do the operations?
I said, initially said, there will be budget allocation, and the resources, wherever it will be used, and also I will bring investors that will leverage or close the gap. For example, we have mangoes. The mangoes are coming by June or August, and now farmers are doing the management of the farm. I'll get agro dealers who will come and also advise the farmers and also give chemicals. Financial institutions, they give loans and they make sure that the value chain gaps have been addressed. I know I love resources, and due to my integrity and also accountability, I'll make sure that the budget is utilized as expected.
Who gives you the budget?
The budget is given by the assembly. After we do the budget, we bring to the assembly, and then the assembly will approve. If there are queries, I'll be there to answer the questions and also give clarification. Yeah.
If appointed, what will be your 5 top priorities in implementing and making sure that the agricultural sector is well run in Makueni County?
Okay, my top priority will be first, extension services. I'll make sure that is efficient. Another thing is I'll be very keen on expansion of irrigation and water harvesting, because those are low-lying fruits. I'll also do the strengthen the cooperatives, because they play a key role in fostering production and also market. Another thing, I'll also do market linkages, financial linkages, and also partnership. I'll also do the partnership collaboration, so that during that period, every partner brings an additional funds to our community, and therefore collaboration will be very important during my 1 year period.
Okay, and then what measures will you take to ensure equitable distribution of agricultural resources and services across all the wards in Makueni County?
Thank you for that question. I'll do an assessment about the wards and the disadvantaged, all the underfunded ward. I'll give a priority. I'll also do beneficiary equal distribution for the beneficiary as per the criteria, because when you are doing distributing resources, there's a criteria, and it will be a transparent selection that will be followed. Also, I'll make sure that there is monitoring and evaluation, monitoring to see whether all the resources that have been allocated, they are impactful or they are helping the wards.
Okay, and what legacy would you like to leave behind when would you like to leave behind in Makueni agricultural sector at the end of your term?
One of the legacies that I want to leave in Makueni is to see this consistent market for our produce. Another legacy that I want to leave is all the infrastructures that are not working, they should work. The partners, we have to make sure that there are partners that come in to invest. One thing, my opinion, like the Kalamba, government cannot do business. But if we have private, public partnership, it will be very sustainable because we'll get entrepreneurs who are business minded. And if the county, we give room to the public partnership, they'll drive Kalamba as a business. The only thing that we can say, we have interest that you buy from our farmers, and employment, you will give first priority our people. And then from there, also as we support the farmers, we also need to support the SMEs because also they have their own challenges. That is linking them to the market, to export market, so that they get more market, they bring to our farmers, and then extension services, they make sure that the required quality produce is produced. And also the certification, market standards, they are met. And then from there, I think Kalamba, the issue of chaos of mango, it will not be there.
I want to clarify a point I feel is very sensitive because we have farmers who are following this interview and expecting if you'll be approved to be able to handle the issues. Recently in Kalamba, we had a very bad scenario where many farmers lost their produce and many who had produced could not even access the Kalamba. I would wish to hear from you how you will handle to avert a situation like the one which happened in Kalamba, in simplicity for the people to understand what you are saying, in simplicity. A situation where there will be no loss, reduce losses. You may not reduce 100%, but reduce the losses at least. And those who are supposed to access, they have a staggered situation whereby everybody can access their own time without overcrowding the way. So can you tell us how you handle that situation, because it's a very raw point to the people?
Okay, what I can say, Kalamba, I said Kalamba processing plant cannot get all the mangoes in Makwe. But we have processors in Machakos. We have processors, we have San Marco, we have Kevian, we have Meli processors, and we have Malindi, and we have others. It's to bring those processors, they come, we have a city, so that we have cluster. What can go to Kalamba can go, but also we have an agreement with these processors, so that they buy from our farmers. Because if we say all the mango to be taken to Kalamba, it will be a bigger chaos than even last year. But if we distribute the resources, we want to know Kevian will get how many tons from us.
I get that point. But how will you reassure people that the mangoes that are coming to Kalamba maybe are not from outside? You know, that is a suspicious question.
Yeah.
They are not from outside, and that everybody will have an opportunity to get the cake, a share of that cake of Kalamba. Because there are those who feel either others got access to Kalamba more than them, and they were locked their mangoes. So that management of that part is very important. Can you reassure how you handle that?
The issue of coordination, clustering of the producers, and also making the processing plant efficient. Another thing will be traceability, because, for example, the seasonality of we start with the Kibwezi, the mango of Kibwezi, and then we come to Makueni. We also go to Boni, and then we go to Machakos. Here from November to December, that's when we have mangoes for export. From 19th December to March, that's when the brokers come to get the second. And that's when the Kalamba now starts. So if we plan well, first of all, the first quality goes for export. And then we have a cluster for the people who are doing the drying, the SMEs who are drying. And then we bring in the last for processing. because they should be 80% ripe. That duration from December 19th to March, that's where the crisis is. And that's where we need to come in and now cluster and also divide the groups. For example, we say this week, the people of Kalamba, they will be sending to Kalamba.
So in short, you're telling Makueni farmers of mango
yes,
that they will not face the crisis they face
no,
this time?
they will not.
In case you are approved.
They
You
will
are
not.
ready to stand with that.
Yes.
How about financing the buying of mangos? Is the money which is given enough? What would you comment on that?
The money is not enough, and if we say we buy as county, I can advise that we just support the cooperative to take the mangoes there. And also we supported the cooperative to take the mangoes in another processing plant to avoid the overcrowding. Then we bring in the paralyzation of Kalamba. There are some inefficiencies. Maybe we need to see what is working and what is not working, and then we correct. Then from there, when it comes to the farmers, if we continue supporting buying the mangoes as county, it is not sustainable. And we need to come up with a mechanism on how we can diversify so that even if we support the farmers to send mangoes to Kalamba, we need also to come up with a financial credit. Financial institution that they can come in and provide an extra funding on loans, and then what the farmer are paid there, the loan is paid and the balance is given to the cooperative. That will be very easy, because if we give a cooperative like 5 million and that one can only go to 4 farmers, what about the rest? It will not be possible. But if you bring in financial institution that can fund the farmers to take mangoes, and when they are paid, the loan is paid and the farmer go alone again to supply. If we continue now using county money, it will not be sustainable. But it will be a trigger, a catalyst to show them it can work, but not sustainable.
Thank you, Chair. Before I give Honorable Kalunda, there's something the candidate had said that I wanted her to clarify on modernization of cooperatives. What did you mean with modernizing the cooperatives? Thank you.
Thank you for that question. Modernization of the question, cooperative, I mean, there's a new act for the cooperative, and they need to know their mandate. We also need to have mindset, because when you say a cooperative, people feel it is the previous. We need to have, we used to do. So we need to have a mindset for this, so that they know the current cooperative, they are not those former ones where Wazee used to stay for over 50 years, 20 years in the leadership. But also when we bring the young leaders who are half brains, and they can drive the cooperative with integrity and also commitment. To us, it becomes modern, because it's not like the previous one whereby people were just coming to enjoy the shares without value for money. But if a cooperative, they say we have been given this to deliver this, if they deliver, people will see value for money, and they will be running to join the cooperative, because it's where they know the service is cheap and also it's sustainable. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you.
It's a huge step towards being a minister, county minister. I did not have many questions. I was only looking at, because whatever you are promising will need like 10 billion shillings. Where will you get this money from? Because you will be frustrated that the county will not have those resources. Where do you expect the resources to come from? And do you know the amount the departmental budget for this financial year, the next financial year, which will kick in on 1st of July? Are you aware? Have you been made aware, or maybe cross-checked and informed yourself on how much budget you will be expected to use?
Okay, that's a good question. I don't know what I have, but I've learned to be very innovative. There's more resources that you have. You can be very innovative and do great things. For example, you can have like 100,000, and then you are taught to train around 100 people, 1,000 per person. You can be very innovative, and then you train more than even 200. So it doesn't matter. If you say 50, everybody is assigned 100,000, if you stick to that, you want numbers and you want impact. So you need to be very innovative. You know what the basket has, and you know what you want to the achievement.
Just to rephrase, maybe you may not have understood my question.
Okay.
You see, this budget is not a block figure.
Okay.
It's not like, and sorry, I'm surprised you did not look at the budgets. I thought you have a small idea, because I can see you are very aggressive. You want to get this position. But this is not a block figure. This is an itemized budget. For example, you spoke about irrigation. A lot of irrigation. I have listened very keenly about irrigation. It may not even exist in that budget. Where will you get these irrigations?
There are development partners who are supporting the farmers to do water harvesting and expansion, irrigation expansion. Once those development partners they do, it will be a plus to the county, because those are our farmers.
You see, like you are talking of development partners, like they are waiting on the gate, at the gate. You see, I want to hear a practical, you know, I'm a practical politician. I want to listen to what is true to the service.
Are you a practical politician or practical political leader?
A political leader, sorry. Both of them is fine, but now that you've helped me to rephrase that, that's fine. I want us to, we don't want to promise what we cannot give. Let's always be promising what we can do. And I expected, because you talked about policy directions, I could not tell what that is. Even when we were asking about an ideal working day for you, it never came out at all. So, but I want us to be more explicit on what we want. If it is this department on agriculture, it's the trade of all problems of this county. How can we solve that problem? We can promise a lot, but in reality it is not happening, because we need the human resources, we need the financial resources to kick this thing in. I want you to help us get to understand how these resources, because they may not be there, and it's not a block figure. Like when we say we have 1 billion shillings going to the department on water, that includes the recurrent and the development expenditure. But since it is a new thing for you, I want us to go back to something else. Now, the ideas you have, how will you realign them with the existing ADP and also the CIDP?
Thank you. I know there is NDP, the budget. which is aligned to CIDP. And I'll sit down with my technical team. We know what are the priorities and what we have. And if the priorities are like a certain ward needs this, that is where first of all we shall support. Not really just to go all over. It will be a consistent process, such that when I say expansion of irrigation, I didn't mean that it will be all over in the county, but there will be prioritization as per the available budget. And then, what is not workable, we bring in collaborators to leverage on what we don't have.
Okay, thank you. But there is a lot of homework to do on that. I wish you could have even started researching on this department on resources, because you know, in the county of Makueni, we don't just do a budget. Every ward prioritizes their budgets and programs. So when you go to Kitese, they have prioritized their programs. So I think that you need also to get that information. Number two, my other question is about, you want to be the Minister for Agriculture, the Executive Committee member. What will be your relationship with the County Assembly? What will be your legal expectation from the County Assembly of Makueni? And how will you relate to them? Or maybe you can say, I'm appointed by the governor, I don't need the assembly to be there. Because of course, the person who is going to gazette you is the governor of Makueni County. But what is your relationship? Does the county assembly have a role? Does it have any legal, yes. And what are these roles? You need to just explain to me, like a primary school kid.
As I say, I've not worked with the county for long. I'll be doing a lot of consultation, research, and also be open for learning. But I know proposals, policy proposals, I'll bring to you. And then if there are any queries within my department, I'll be answering the county assembly. And then on budgets, of course, once we prepare the budgets, we bring to the county assembly for approval and also for direction.
Okay, thank you. At least, you see, when you say, but I can see you want to learn.
Yes,
if there are things you have to learn,
yeah,
I think the assembly is open to that.
Yeah.
Maybe to ask the tools you'll use to run this department.
Of course, budget will be there, the work plan, where we have targets, the KPIs. Another thing is the human resource. The human resource is the technical team that will be supporting the department. Also,
okay, let me make it easy for all of us. Maybe the legal documents,
the
laws,
policies.
maybe the laws you may
Yeah.
use to
Yeah,
facilitate your work.
yeah.
Which ones?
There's an act. Anyway, I think I need to learn more because I'm very new, but I know
Okay.
there are policies.
Okay.
There are policies that need to be implemented. Like agriculture, climate smart agriculture. There's also a policy on that. there is irrigation and water harvesting. There's also expansion on these infrastructures.
Maybe the laws, you can talk of the general laws which help county ministers to run their departments.
I don't want to mention wrongly.
No,
But,
we are making a conversation. You see, the people of Makueni assume I don't know anything.
yeah.
You know, I'm just a representative of the people. I assume I have not gone to school, but I'm just representing their issues.
Yeah.
And they are watching as you come in as a new minister. You see, in the department you will be coming, there will be technical staff, there will be support staff, there are other colleagues, chief officers, yeah, directors, and you see they are watching.
Yeah.
They want to see whether I have represented their aspiration
Yeah.
on the candidature of Madam Sab.
I know there are policies in the agriculture. That is livestock.
No, let's not go to agriculture. Don't constrain yourself on agriculture.
Okay.
Just use any law you know, any legal tool, any law in existence like that, which will help you. Even you see, tomorrow you may be sworn in as the Minister for Agriculture. Then the governor will also may change you from agriculture now in fields you can fit better in devolution.
Yeah.
You see, those are general practices. So the general laws which will help you run a county department.
Within the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, there are laws governing agriculture. They are also governing health sector.
I want to hear those laws.
Yes.
Just relax. Don't. You know those things. We need to just know whether you are well versed with those documents. Because let me help you. You know, I'm expecting you to get the basic law, like the Constitution of Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Constitution of Kenya, Public Finance Management Act,
Yeah.
County Government Act. Those are basic laws. As a minister, those are the laws I expect you to mention in the first place. But I don't want to answer for you. You also talked about stakeholders in the county government. What are these stakeholders? Who are these stakeholders?
The stakeholders are farmers. Farmers are stakeholders. We have the cooperatives. We have the SMEs, the buyers. We also have the regulators. We have the agencies.
Okay.
We have development partners.
That's fine. That's fine. Now, you wish to be appointed by the governor to be the minister. Now, as a county executive committee member, without now specifically talking about which department, what are your roles? What are the roles of a county minister?
Is to make sure that the policies and the strategies are implemented for the county. You remember the devolved functions. The devolved functions, they are well implemented, and also coordination with the national government to make sure that the county has met its mandate and implemented all its mandate and the Constitution of Kenya. Yeah.
Okay. Any other role? Because I will not speak about an ideal working day for you. I'm interested to know, because you told me you have not worked with counties before.
Yeah.
But I want to see whether you know the roles of a minister. Because the people of Makueni are watching. They want to see whether the person who has been nominated is able to, just in a small way, brush about the basic roles of a minister. Because like when you say you are implementing, I expected you to say you will make the policies, you will make the strategies for other people even to now to do the day-to-day running of the department. But can you explain to me? I don't know the roles of, I've never been a minister myself. But if you can explain to me what a minister is expected to, like now the governor has appointed you as a minister, what are the expectations of the governor in that position he has given you? He has given the candidate Sarah.
He expects me to oversee the operations of the department.
Yes.
And make sure that the policies are implemented and also they are developed. Yes.
Okay. I will not probe further. Thank you very much. I wanted to ask more questions, but now that I have taken a lot of time, I think the speaker will take over from there. Now, the last one, before I finish, now you may be appointed by the governor, and there is a political function in Kibwezi, and you come from Kathonzweni. Will you be comfortable to participate on behalf of the governor under his instructions or without his instructions? Maybe to articulate government policy, maybe to articulate your programs, and even programs beyond your department. Like we have Mutula Care program. Will you be comfortable to represent the government in those functions? And if the public were maybe irritated by what a previous office holder, maybe a ward administrator in that place, maybe mismanaged some of the county staff, and they don't want to listen to anybody, will you risk and even try to talk to those irate people?
Okay. I'm not a politician, but political will is very important for the activities implementation to be very effective. If I'm assigned, mine is just to advise, but not to say to have an interest of something, because my office doesn't allow to campaign. But if I'm sent by the governor to go and deliver an information, as an obedient officer, I will go and deliver, but I make sure that it is delivered accordingly, without bias.
But yeah, of course, you know, politicians are biased. Political messages sometimes may be biased, right?
Yeah.
But so, unless you are sent by the governor and you find maybe somebody who has been involved in a small accident and the people who are rioting around that place, will you not be able to understand their issues and talk to them? And now you have said you don't want to be associated with the governor, who is a politician, who is a political leader.
I've not said so.
No, but your sentiments are very clear. You
I've
say
not said
you
so.
are not a political leader. Don't you know this position is a political delegation?
I know.
Then why are you running away from
I know. I'm
the
not running
responsibilities?
away. Remember, I've said I'm not a politician. I'm a professional. And if I'm a professional, I have to support my governor to deliver his mandate.
No, but the governor is a professional lawyer.
He is.
And he's a professional governor.
And a politician, yes.
Then why are you holding a political position if you are not a politician? Why are you interested? No, you see, like I'm asking, I want to finish. I'm asking you, why are you interested in being a minister?
She's a political
Me, I've been up.
She's a political appointee.
You can still execute your point
in a conversation.
No, we are
Go ahead.
conversing with her.
Okay, go ahead.
She's now becoming a political leader. She's now becoming a political leader. I want to thank you for now relating your job with what we are now doing here. Because your job is not to stay in an office. Your job is to execute and to get delegations from the governor and deputy governor and the executive committee. Yeah? So it is up to you to choose, but I want to ask you, because you will be appointed. I have not said we will pass your nomination. I don't want to be misconstrued, but I want to say, if by any chance you are nominated and then appointed by the governor to be the minister, the expectation of the governor is not for you to sit in an office and sit with professionals only, and you leave the political work to others and to the governor and deputy governor. All of you are elected by the people of Makueni, because the governor is elected with a deputy governor and an executive committee, and you can be fired even on the slopes of Makongo, the slopes of the Makongo forest. Are we together? So this is a political position, and you need to understand just that. I didn't have a lot of questions, but now that the speaker had allowed me to ask, I think that is enough for me. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, you should have microphone. Sorry. Thank you.
I can do it for you.
Thank you. This is off.
Let me help you. Let me help you, Speaker.
Yes. Sarah, I just want to understand what has been your role in your career from when you started working with development partners up to date. Is it a policy maker, a manager or managerial position, or an implementer?
Thank you for that question, Chair. I've been in both, because I've been having a team of experts that I've been leading in Coast region, and also I've been also an implementer in my career.
But what have you been? If you ask Honorable Mbalo, he will tell you that he's a legislator. One of the officers here is an administrator. Another one is an implementer. Another one is a, what do you call it? Is a trainee. Another one is the head of the institution. Another one is a supervisor. So I've asked, because there are three categories. Is either a policy maker in organizations, manager or in managerial position, or an implementer of policies and decisions after they have been processed and conveyed for implementation with stakeholders. Out of the three categories, or four, if there is the fourth one.
I fit in managerial, also implementer, and also an advisor. Yes.
Okay, because why I have asked for that question is because in 2002-2005, working with Danida, you were assistant project officer.
Yeah.
So, in my view, an assistant project officer will not be a policy maker, either managerial, is an implementation of a program.
Sure.
Am I right?
Yes.
In 2005 to 2011, after that program, Danida, you are the district coordinator for Makueni district, I suppose.
Yeah.
A coordinator. Then after that, in that was an agricultural business development program, ADP. Then after that, in 2011 to 2015, you served as a business development officer in Meset, Makueni County Program Office.
Yes.
So a program office, would I term that position as a policy maker, manager, or implementation role?
It's implementer.
Implementer, thank you. Then in 2016 to 2020, while in Taita Taveta and Kwale and Kajiado County, in a MESET program, Green Growth and Employment Program, you are value chain officer.
Yes.
Okay. That is, if there is a value chain officer, then that is an implementation function.
Yes.
Then in 2021 to date, I suppose.
Yeah. Yes.
Up to date.
Yes.
You in micro enterprise support program trust, that is MEST, a program officer, green employment in agriculture program in Kwale, Kilifi and Tana River.
Yes.
An implementer. Now, the role of account executive committee member, is it an implementer, a manager, or a policy maker?
It's a policy maker.
So, throughout your career, a very perfect one, you have been at the lower side of implementer, there's managerial supervision, there's a policy maker. Don't you see that there's a gap between what you are and what you want to be? Because the people you're going to work with, some are at chief officer level, so they are at policy makers and supervisors. And they are directors in county government and assistant directors who are at the level of supervision and above. And then we have some at sub-county, including corporate officers who are at implementation. So then how will you bridge this gap?
Okay, thank you for that question. During my my implementation in a Kwale coast region, I have supported the county government to develop a policy on food and feed safety, and also CASCOM have been in those meetings. And drafting, I have been in task force that has been drafting those policies. And we have taken from the basic up now to the act level, which means I understand well that because I've been leading in such task force. So in those implementation development, I've learned a lot, and I think I've collaborated with the chief officers, I've collaborated with the Mawaziris for Coast Region in other value chain development, and I've seen what they have been doing, and I've been implementing activities with them. So according to me, what they were able to do, I was also doing when I was in MESET. And therefore, that will not be a big challenge to me because I've learned a lot in the Coast region. When you see the development of manuals, you see the development of the hybrid coconut policy, all that, I've been involved because I've been representing the organization, and I've been even attending high-level delegate meeting representing MES, including the SDGs implementation. So according to me, I think that one will not be a challenge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. My other question is in 1999, you qualify from 1997 to 1998, you are in National Youth Service.
Yes.
You qualified with a diploma in administration.
Yeah.
Your certificate, the Kenya National Examination Council, National Youth Service, NEC is the examiner, is that your diploma in secretarial studies.
Yeah.
That's a diploma.
Yeah.
And that is, then when you attained your diploma in 1998, 99, your first job is in 2000 and 2005 after graduation.
Yeah.
As an assistant project officer, correct?
Yes.
Then again, while in Kenya Institute of Social Work and Community Development, and at the same time you had qualified from NYS between 2005 and 2011, because you cleared Kenya Institute of Social Work Community Development from 2010 to 2011, correct?
Yes.
So you worked as a district coordinator in Makueni district.
Yes.
Then after that, you also worked as a MESEPT in 2011 to 2015 business development officer. And later, you graduated in 2019 with a bachelor's degree from Sebu University.
Yes.
Then in 2016, while in school, up to 2019, you are value chain officer in a green growth and employment program, which is in Taita Taveta, Kilifi and Kwale.
Yes.
Now, later in 2021, after graduating in 2019, according to your certificate, you are working as a program officer in green employment agriculture in both in Kwale, Kilifi and Taita Taveta.
Yes.
If you look at that progression and you read it together with the County Governments Act on the Section 35. Section 35 is on appointment of county executive committee members. And the governor shall not approve nominations appointment of a county executive committee member that will not take into account the following regional balance and so forth. The number 3, a person may not be appointed as a member of a county executive committee member if that person is not Kenyan citizen, in which case you are one, is a holder of a degree for a university recognized in Kenya as satisfied requirement of Chapter 6. And D is knowledge and experience and distinguished career of not less than 5 years in field relevant to the portfolio of the department to which the person is being appointed. Now, in my understanding, I'm taking 5 years from when you graduate, because this law does not recognize other qualification. It is recognized that you must be a holder of first degree from a university recognized. SECU is a public university. But from 2019 to now, do you have 5 years experience? Because in my view, and I may be wrong, is that these 5 years is after one has attained a bachelor's degree. And that bachelor's degree must be related to that portfolio. In this case, which is agriculture. In your own understanding, do you think that you have the requisite qualifications of the 5 years relevant? Although you have had other experience before, but in your own assessment, because you applied for the job, do you think you have all what it takes and the requisite qualifications?
According to what they have stated, 5 years. It's okay, it's a number, but when you check my my experience, I've been hands-on, practically involved in partnership with the government in all those. I think, according to me, I qualify.
Okay. Now, my second last question is, would you enumerate to me the budget making process in a county government? The budget making process. The steps in making a budget so that then you have an approved budget from the beginning to the end.
Chair, I might not be correct, but I'll try because.
Go ahead, we're having a conversation.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I don't have so much experience with county government. I know when you are given a budget, this one is for this sector and this one is for this sector. You get the CIDP, then you come up with annual development plans, and then you narrow down to the actual activities. And then, before you do that, there is a public participation from the wards. They need to know what they want. And then, so that when you come now to budget, you know from Kabonzweni ward, these are their priorities, or all the wards, the 30 wards. And then now you narrow down to what you have. Of course, you have technical team. Then, once you take the team through what is the areas of interventions, if it is livestock, maybe fisheries, maybe cooperative, the needs, all that. Then you compile, and then you make sure that there are expectations, there are assumptions, and then from there, once you go through, you ascertain you've met all the requirements, then it's when you compile and bring to the county assembly, maybe for ratification, or for their inputs, their advice, or for the approval. Once it is approved, that's when now you get the mandate now to implement. Otherwise you cannot start implementing the budget without the approval. And then there are allocations. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. Now, my last bit of it is in the requirement of this process, which is vetting. That in the appointment of the county executive committee members, one of the considerations I've read to you is a Kenyan citizen, bachelor's degree, a knowledge of at least 5 years experience related, and the other one is satisfies the requirement of chapter 6 of the constitution. Now in this process, for purposes of chapter 6, integrity is about one's integrity and the personal integrity before they take a state or public office. Now, when we wrote to the Seku University to verify your certificate, which reads that you graduated in 2019, what is it? The Seku University. When did you obtain this certificate?
The certified one I got 19.
Now, these are the original certificates.
Yes.
Now, Seku University, Sergeant at Arms, you may need to look at that microphone. It says that second class honors was admitted to the degree of graduation held at the university on 27th day of June, year 2019. Now, in 2019, all candidates that were presented to us, we wrote back to the respective universities, asking the university to verify the respective certificates. In your case, the university asked us to ask you to yes, you are a student, but they cannot confirm to the university. But then you must allow me to read it to you. This is that whereby you confirm that Sarah Zhao registration, this number was that is this address is from the letter is from Peter Njuru, Professor PhD, addressed to the clerk of the county assembly with the reference number, dear Kevin, is about verification of certificates. And in the second verse they're saying that we hereby confirm that Sarah Wayo and Zhao registration, this was an undergraduate student Southeastern Kenya University. However, the student has not collected our academic certificates and we are not in position to verify our details. Kindly advise her to collect our academic documents to enable us to process the request. Now that puts us at a loss because give me that document. Who is speaking my documents? When the governor wrote to us nominating you, there was a copy of a university degree, which is a copy of this which you attached. So that copy must have been from this original, which was issued to you earlier. But on 16th of June, the university said that the student has not collected the certificates. When I've looked at your transcript, they were collected earlier on. But the university is telling us you have not collected your, whether transcript or certificate will tell us. So what was the problem? Because this document is in our records, this letter from the university. But there is a letter that you attached when you are applying for the job forwarded to us by the governor. Seemingly you had your certificate. But the university is telling us you don't have a certificate, you never collected. So we are at a loss. How did this happen?
I'm sorry, Chair, for that occurrence. What happened? I wanted to apply for chief officer and the CEC, the previous one, and they indicated you needed a certificate. Personally, I went there. I did clearance, but it took the whole day, and I didn't finish.
What is that now? In 2022?
I think so.
This government?
Yes.
The current government, when it
The
was
current government
elected?
Yes.
Okay.
That's when I applied.
Yes.
I applied for chief officer, agriculture, and also I applied for CC.
Mm-hmm.
And because they were required, I had gone there earlier to do the clearance. I didn't finish because I traveled from Mombasa. I went to Wavonza, and the following day, I had a delegation from Denmark that I had to take them through the project. And therefore, I traveled back. I didn't finish. And because this one came in the midst, I just talked to the lecturer. That was my lecturer, who was in Kwafonza. I told him, this is the vacancy and I need to apply. How am I going to do and I don't have the certificate? He said, you can use the transcript, but they were not enough. And because we are in the ICT era, I just asked him to do the scanning. He scanned and I printed that document because it was a copy of the original. I didn't know whether it's a must you have certified, but the transcript we are certified as true.
Yes,
and the same, because I've been very busy in the cost, coordinating 5 value chain in those counties. It has been very hard for me to have time to go and do the clearance. And therefore, when I was told that, in fact I was in the field, I traveled overnight. I went there, and I left there very, very late, but it was towards weekend. So that's where the mess came in, but it was not intentional. Yeah.
Okay. Because we needed to understand how a copy of your certificate is appearing as an attachment and as a requirement for you to be nominated by the governor in this document which we received from the governor.
Yeah.
Then using this certificate, we write to Central University asking them to verify whether this student and many others, because they have been nominated, whether this student is recognized. But the university tells us that this student to be asked by us to go there and do some clearance. So that raised some issues, and therefore we were not able to understand, and we felt it is important that we get clarity on that matter, because the document which you have attached here is not certified.
Yeah.
There is a copy of this, which is same serial number 20190 0630111120. So the copy of this is this. Now, while at that, on the same certificate, because it is not our responsibility to ask the university. I don't know whether the university or someone contacted you, but as at today, at around 2:30 p.m., we had not received a verification. Then we received a communication again from the university saying that we hereby confirm that Sarah Nzau registration this number was an undergraduate student from Self University. She graduated in graduation ceremony held in 27th of June 2019. We also confirmed that she collected documents as requested and they are authentic and were issued by the university. Certificate details as follows. Name, Sarah Waiwa, registration number provided, Bachelor of Arts, Social Work, certificate number is indicated, and second class upper in 2019. So our question was, how then you obtained a certificate with the university saying that you did not? But we'll leave it at that. Now, under that integrity verification, we requested you to provide us with the clearance from Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, correct?
Yes.
The document that you presented, I don't know where that document is. The document that you presented to us, self-declaration form, which is obtained at the or at internet site, indicates that the self-declaration form is incomplete and was not received with ESCC stamp. Because when that document is downloaded, you print it, you fill it in 3 copies, I don't know, the 3 or 4 copies. Self-declaration, you only provided the last page. Is it? Yes. It's filled by Mkua Stephen Dunda. Many details are here. And then the document is supposed to be in triplicates. The last is 6 of 6. It's supposed by an advocate of High Court, commissioned by an advocate of High Court. And then a copy of this declaration should be stamped and a copy left with ESCC. Then you retain a copy and use one of the copy to forward to the institution where you are playing a job. Now the copy in our possession is not owned by Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. It is stamped by an advocate, but it is not stamped and received by ESCC. Are you aware?
I'm not aware, but...
May you adjust that microphone? Sanjay Rams.
Get this.
By now you should have known that the batteries will have run raw. So just do the honorable thing and replace them. Are you aware?
I'm not aware,
Uh-huh.
but that's something which I can follow up with. Actually, I'm not aware.
Okay. On our third issue observation is on certificate of tax compliance, the so-called the tax compliance certificate. Our verification, because all these documents we must verify with the institutions. Again, for the ESCC, you must provide a copy signed by ESCC from Huduma Center. For KRA, we have verified this document with KRA, and our report or findings is that upon verification, using the KRA online checker, the certificate number corresponds to a different person. For example, Sarah Wayua, KRA pin XYZ, then it will ask you for the what do you call it? There are two things here. One, you go to the portal, it's called a KRA checker, compliance certificate checker. It's an open, so it will ask you for something called a certificate number you input. Then after that, it will ask for the PIN number, and after that it's going to print. It shows you results. Now the results in our possession is that this number, that certificate, your number is A002811 finishing with N, correct?
Yes.
Your PIN. Now, and your certificate number is KRA MSC 1408072 finishing with 24. That is what is here. The certificate number and there's a PIN number.
Okay.
So the certificate number and PIN number, they are the same. It's like serial number and ID number.
Okay.
So the serial number for your KRA certificate is KRA MCH 1408072. There are others, and for confidentiality, it finishes with 24. So when we put that in the system, it is giving us Winfred MM. I don't have to mention the other numbers. And that the PIN number is A0036 994, other numbers finishing with Q. Remember your KRA PIN number is A002811. This is A0036994 finishing with Q for Winfred MM. So when we search this document, it is giving us results for Winfred MM, saying that this certificate number 140807282- belongs to PIN number A00369444Q. Other numbers there. Physical name is Winfred Mwende, not Sarah Wayua Zau. Now, what do? We need to hear from you on the KRA verification because the documents are not aligning. Are you aware?
I'm not aware because during my application, I had an accident, 19th March 2000 March this year. I had a crack on my neck, and most of the things I had sent somebody to do for me. So maybe there was an error on that. But when you check my returns, P9, I think I comply. So maybe it's something that I can look into. Maybe somebody, because I was just doing that application when I was on bed.
Okay.
So maybe I need to clarify.
Now, the other document that we requested you and you are requested to attach by the appointing authority was something called a Certificate of Good Conduct. It's not CID, it's DCI. Now the DCI clearance, your DCI clearance is dated, issued on 27th of March 2026. And for another candidate, another nominee who was presented alongside with you and the chief officers, the certificates are dated in March and April or thereabout. Now the difference between your certificate and their certificate is that the current Directorate of Criminal Investigation certificates of good conduct, what do you call this thing? They have a QR code. You know a QR code? Now if you scan this QR code with your camera and you click OK, it will give you a copy of this certificate, all details. Now your certificate is applied around the same time and it doesn't have a QR code. So it doesn't look like, it is like the old generation. And the current ones for the March and April are new generation. Further to that, the certificate you are provided with us is number. If you want to verify a certificate of good conduct from DCI, you go to DCI and there is something called verification. Then there is a code there, you log in, and then you put what is called the certificate number. The certificate number, your number is PCC KO T5 Y7 QW. If you key in that in the website of the DCI to check the validity of it, it is saying application not found. Your ID number 125. Which ID is this? Your ID number is 1257, finishing with 98. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to read all of it. It's 12571, finishing with 98. So we have input the certificate number and the ID number for Sarah Wayuanzao. But the feedback from Director of Criminal Investigation is that application not found. Now if you key in this now for this candidate and we keep in here for the previous candidate, it will tell you that that certificate, that ID number and the certificate, it will give you the name. It will print Sarah Wayua Nzao valid. Are you aware of that? So your certificate of good conduct again, it is not validated by DCI from the system. You are done? You have the ID number? I chose you. It's giving you what? Once you enter, you let us know. So now, next is the CRB, Credit Reference Bureau. According to our notes, it reads invalid. The copy could not be verified because the certificate number is not visible. Additionally, the document does not contain a barcode for verification. What does that mean? If you look at who has taken my documents, your Credit Reference Bureau certificate is issued on 27th of March 2026. It has a serial number, although original, which cannot be seen. That notwithstanding, you verify, give me that document. that notwithstanding, if there is another certificate for Metropole Credit Reference Bureau Limited, same as this, which is Metropole Credit Reference Bureau in blue, which has a QR code. Yours doesn't have a QR code. This one is issued on 28th of March 2026. Yours is issued on 27th, the following day of March 2026. So your certificate and the one for this other candidate, although system generated, but they must present to appear to be of the same generation of printing within a period of time. So there is a variance of the appearance of your Credit Reference Bureau certificate and another one. I do not know in this case whether yours is the latest or theirs is the latest, according to the others, which again will verify. But we are not able to verify from the same system because the Credit Reference Bureau, Metropole Credit Reference Bureau Limited, have another check. You either scan at QR code, it will give you the printout of it. So this doesn't have Credit Reference Bureau, so we are unable to check. So those are some of the pending things that we did not find clear to us, that we need your clearance so that we may make progress with this matter. Then lastly, there is Higher Education Loans Board. The Higher Education Loans Board clearance, you are not a beneficiary according to this certificate, which is issued on March 27th, 2026. And why I've told this team, we have then have to check with help, because even this other person could be giving us a wrong one, because I don't think on the 30th of March 2026, at the 27th of March 2026, L will give us a different shades of certificate. This type, which is blue, look at the heading at the top, the logo is below, and so forth, and the signature, side by two signatures, with validity date and a certificate number. Now, this is not applicable at all, meaning that you not benefit from help, but its appearance again looks a little bit original. The other one looks a little bit, because this is laminated, so it must be the original. So we also need to confirm between this and the other category of help, which is which. So what do you have to tell us about this? This is not about, we're asking you these questions because they are provided for under section 35, subsection 3, that one, we have confirmed that you are Kenyan citizen. 2, and this is Account Governance Act, the law which now is a mother law that requires that the governor has to subject nominees to the county assembly for vetting, because the governor and the appointing authority has no mandate and has no instrument of verification, because there's another body to do so for purposes of checks and oversight. 2, orders of a degree, which you have. 3, number 4, which is knowledge and experience, we have said. And then 5 is satisfied requirement of chapter 6 and the constitution, which are provided in the constitutions, and ethics and integrity act. That is why we have to verify all these things. It is important to note that we were not following up on your graduate certificate alone. We wrote to all the universities for the candidates that were presented to us, including chief officers and municipal board members, and the universities have responded, some are still responding. So we cannot approve an appointment where the university has not verified. We also do write to EACC. All the nominees submitted by the governors, the ministers, the chief officers, and the municipal board members, we wrote to EACC indicating that these nominees are subject to vetting, and therefore EACC with its role have to check, and then they will verify whether they are in investigation or they are in good standing, and then they will respond to us. So this is a standard procedure that we do every other time. So those are the issues before you that you may need to clarify to us, madam, before then we close this session. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, I'm sorry for that. On the certificate of CRB, the certificate of EACC, HELP, and yeah, those certificates. I said I just forwarded money to one of the cyber, so that they give me the certificate, because I had an accident whereby I had a back injury, so I could not walk, and therefore I called one of the cybers, and they asked me, and I forwarded them the money, and they gave a vehicle in Sinai, and they were picked, and I thought everything was okay. So I'm really sorry, because that is not my nature. I'm really sorry, and I've never had any integrity issue in the entire period that I've worked. So what I request is a given time I can go myself and do it, because now I can walk. But at that time I used the cyber people. I never knew whether they are that crafty.
Thank you, Madam Sir. You know, as we were proceeding, thank you, Honorable Speaker. You know, even as we were proceeding, we were supposed to do a balancing act, because the presentation should be yours, and the documents are deemed to be your documents, and it is a very dangerous course we are taking as a committee. One, you know, here we have immunity in the assembly. When we have issues, when Gen Zs were being arrested in 2021, being abducted, I used to run to this assembly, because nobody can arrest me here. But we don't know. I would even try to ask the clerk whether there is an exit route at the back of the assembly, because the DCI may even be waiting for you at the gate. It's a very dangerous situation we're putting ourselves in. You know, like nowadays, even Speaker, I teach at the university, and when students are presenting their thesis, even for PhD, you must present through audiovisual. You must be seen yourself presenting, even when you are sick. You must have your webcam on, so that you can be seen to be presenting. Some of the students, we disqualify them when we see somebody else helping at the background, even trying to give them some notes. And you see, in this assembly, in this, you know, I asked you which tools you will use to run the department. Here we have the rules, we have the tools. The speaker has the tools, and you can see he's sufficiently informed, and he has very good technical people to help him. And they don't speak here, but they help the speaker not to find himself in a compromising situation where he can be taken to a court of law. And that is why you could see they are feeding him with a lot of information, and his job is not to get the research done. He has people who do the research, and this assembly, this committee is well informed. And that's why I was even expecting you to maybe say, let's stop at that. Then we'll do something much later. I will come much later. But that window was never allowed. I don't know what the speaker will do, because this is a public institution, and everybody, we are live, all of us, we are live. two streams are alive, and therefore the state is here, and we don't know what to say. So, Speaker, I
you are
wish.
now not inventing. You are now presenting a thesis.
Sorry.
Yes.
Tell him again.
Sorry. Now I wanted to say this the last time. When you had the Speaker talk of Chapter 6, it is not our wish. It is the Constitution of Kenya, 2010. We allowed, all of us voted for the Constitution. And that is why I wished you could check on the Chapter 6 and then we make decision. Speaker, it's a tough decision, but that is why you are the Speaker of this Assembly. Thank you, Honorable.
But I said that we found variants on appearances of documents that are system generated and therefore verified. But again, we have told you that the numbers where they exist, some of them are not valid in the system. So it's up to you to check, but you have indicated you'll be able to check and communicate back to us. Very well. So, honorable members, those are my questions, and I think we need to conclude this voting process. So we thank you so much for expressing your interest to have with Makweli, Madam Sarah, because as a citizen of Makweli, by all means, what's wrong with expressing oneself to work for the people of Makweli? So the committee will retreat, look at your presentation and this report, and then make a report with recommendation to the County Assembly. And the County Assembly will approve or disapprove or make a determination as to your presentation on the approval or disapproval. Because our mandate is limited to approving or disapproving. But thank you very much for cooperation and showing interest. And thank you very much. That marks the end of our vetting process. Nevertheless, you are now welcome. If you wish to make any remark, it's open. A remark or a question to this committee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that section we have gone through, and also for listening and also advising. I'm really grateful. This is the first one, and I've learned also so much in this. What I requested was in this paper, they said I needed to give 4 copies of the publishing that I've done, and 4 copies of anything that I've done. I don't know where to give.
Yes, that is your work. You publish. You publish work.
Yes, I've been supporting. According to the question,
Yes.
they said in publishing, and also the study, and if you have, you need to give 4 copies of each. So I become carrying it.
Thank you very much. You leave those with us because we need one for library, one for our interns, one will go to the executive. Yes, those are important documents, instruments that can be used for our students and even researchers in the assembly. Thank you.